So, we have, as we can see, Zach, Hecarim, and actually my game is freezing on me for some reason.
It might just crash.
There we go. Lulu, Sejuani, Ezreal, Zach, and Ari versus Lucian, Blitzcrank, Hecarim, Nasus, and Lux. I've yet to see Lucian be played at all. They did just introduce him, and I love that Blitzcrank skin, by the way. It is phenomenal. It's hilarious in a bot form. Enough said. But looks like GOG has a very beefy team versus the pseudo-sustained, pseudo-burst of the blue team. We'll have to see how this all works out. Generally, you'd see Hecarim, become pretty beefy, just be annoying. Lucian, from what I understand, he's good at bursting down, single targets with his ultimate. And even the fact that he can move while ulting, that puts him in a very, very good spot to, go ahead, dash into a good place, flash into a good place to go ahead and get his ult off on, say, Lulu or Ari, since they're going to be sitting in the back mostly. Maybe even Ezreal if he's lucky.
Yeah, not only that, but Lucian's E makes him able to break out slows, and that will make him very hard to catch.
Very true, and also thing to remember as well, if Lucian gets a kill while his ult is going on, it resets his dash. So he can dash several times all at once as long as he has the mana for it. It's going to be very, very interesting. I know people have been playing him today, it's just, hey, new champion, not a lot of people understand new champions the second they're out like that. We're going to have to see.
Yeah, one thing to mention about the purple team is they have Nasus and Hecarim, and both these champions are heavy. Like, they both require heavy farm. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens with them.
Well, Hecarim, you gotta remember, is in the jungle versus the, lane sustain of Nasus. Yes, he's going up against, a Zac, but, it shouldn't be too big of an issue for him.
Yeah. Hey, I'm finally in the game!
And there we go. We should, be seeing everything now. And this is definitely going to be interesting. We actually see all of them going ahead and going towards that blue, towards the middle. They're going for 5-man middle initially, just to see if they can go ahead and get, catch somebody out that's going towards the red. And it looks like we got to pause immediately.
Yeah, just going down the middle is actually the fastest way to come, into the lane, towards the other buff. So they may be trying to invade the purple team's red buff.
Very true. And as we're paused right now, since we do have a quick pause just that way Thristle can go ahead and get his sound issue fixed, I'm gonna go ahead and just, put the champions in line with each other. So that way it's nice and easy for us to tell who's where, who's doing what, and who's on even footing with who. So, Lulu with Ezreal, Ezreal with Lulu support. That's, pretty standard.
Yeah, it's definitely a very strong poke lane coming out from the blue team.
Yeah, and the purple team, they do have that Lucian with the Blitzcrank support. The pull from Blitz plus the dashes that Lucian can, go ahead and pull out. It's definitely nice for him to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, definitely with the dashes, being able to just get on right onto him, no matter how far the Blitzcrank is from him. But not only that, Lucian's Q it's very powerful. It does a lot of damage.
Yes, and you also have to remember Lucian's passive Light Slinger. Every time he casts a spell, he gets he gets a second auto attack, but it does less damage than his regular auto attack. Kind of like Master Yi's Double Strike, just not as often. So we will certainly have to see how this, all works out.
Another thing I'd like to mention is in mid lane, you have an Ari going against Lux, and Lux is I'm not 100% sure about, but I'm pretty sure Lux is pretty good against Ari until Ari hits level 6, and then Ari will be able to kill her just about whenever she wants, unless Lux is able to land that Q. It'll be pretty interesting, at least I think it should be.
Ari has the actual, Ahri has an upper hand until Lux is able to actually have enough mana to, go ahead and cast her, Binding Light in, often enough, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Lux get her shield, surprisingly early.
Yeah, I definitely think we'll probably be seeing an Athene's Unholy Grail rush on Lux.
Athene's Unholy Grail is a very good item. I generally get that on her when I play her, just because that extra mana regen you get, it's very, very nice. Not only that, plus you get the increased magic resist, you get the increased AP. It's just a general overall good item. And I'm sad to hear that Riot no longer does, the whole referral program where you can go ahead and get an item in the game or something like that if you have enough referrals for it.
Hey, did they ever fix that pausing bug for spectating?
I believe they did. I could be wrong though. What we could always do is, pause it on our end, so that way, it does help prevent that snipe.
I think we should do that.
That is totally up to you. I mean, in the rules does say that there is a 10-minute pause, that each team gets once per game. I believe that's how it is, at least. I'll have to check the official rules for that. Could be entirely wrong, though.
Yeah. But yeah, I think another thing to notice is the top lane. We have a Nasus taking a teleport while Zac is gonna take Ignite. Both of those people are very sustained, like they have heavy sustain. And I think it's actually gonna end up more of a farm lane and less of a kill lane, so I think that teleport was actually gonna be a good pickup by Nasus.
Definitely, and, just because it's a Nasus, he's going to be able to get that Q, farmed very heavily, very quickly. A nice grab by Blitzcrank right there. Ahri will flash away and dies to Lucian right there for first blood. We got the Hecarim going ham on just everybody right here. Lulu goes and gets the kill on that Nasus. Hecarim gets the kill on Lulu. Wow. First blood's all, well, not even first blood, just all up roll here. Lux gets the kill on Ezreal. Sejuani gets the kill onto Hecarim. Wow, Zac gets the kill on Lux, and I think that's going to be it for this.
Yeah, that was definitely very eventful, but I still think that the purple team's gonna come out ahead on that just due to the fact that they did get first blood, and that did go to Lucian, their AD carry. And on the other hand, Ezreal did not pick up any kills while he got 2 assists, but that lane's gonna be pretty much for Lucian to control now.
Yes, I mean, don't get me wrong, the support, or the assists are still nice for Ezreal. It's just he would have liked to have those kills, like you were mentioning, just so that we can be on par with Lucian. As we can see, there's still, that early advantage as far as how much gold Lucian's earned versus Ezreal, considering he did get that first blood advantage as well.
Yeah, not only to note, but one of the kills actually went to Lulu for the blue team, while on the purple team, they all went to either Hecarim, the mid laner, or the AD carry, and that's going to be pretty impactful in the early game.
Very, very true. We'll just have to see how the farm plays out. And Lulu gets grabbed right here, and Lucian doing some damage to that Lulu. And she's going to go ahead and just have to, play it very, very passively, not try and be aggressive, and stay behind the creeps as much as possible. Although that Q from Lucian will, potentially poke them down to death, if they're not careful. But it's better than being grabbed, because at least you can heal through the damage that Lucian does.
And it looks like Hecarim's looking for a gank up the top lane. He already has his double buff, and Zac is pretty pushed out.
He is, and that Zac is going to go ahead and bounce away here. I'm sorry, not bounce. He's going to go ahead and strike out.
And just another thing to note is in that level 1 engage, like just about everyone blew all their escaping summoners except for Ezreal, who kept his flash and barrier up.
Yeah, so that's going to be very telling of what can happen. And I'm actually surprised to see Lucian having, barrier instead of, say, ignite. But, it's right now it's still whatever, because people are still learning how to play him.
Yeah, well, people are still learning how to play him, but on the other hand, people are still learning how to play against him.
Very, very true. This Ari right now gets a nice hunt off on this Lux and actually does a surprising amount of damage to Lux. Lux does have her level 1 shield though, so she will be fine for the time being. And we should just see, you know, the Loosened Singularity as well as the Binding Light come out from Lux now. She won't be getting any more of her shield.
Oh, and the pings are down on Hecarim. The blue team does know where he is. That's just good foresight.
Yes, it is. And they don't even have wards. They just have to, you know, they should ward. You know, they should ward general areas like right over here at the top, you know, top middle bush, as well as like the tri-bush up here at top.
Definitely, and Hecarim's looking for another gank at top lane.
Very, and he will go ahead and force Zac back, but they will not be able to kill Zac.
There's just get slingshot out.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I misspoke earlier. I said he went ahead and did Stretching Strike, where I should have said he did Elastic Slingshot. My bad. But in the meantime, it looks like this, wow, Sejuani comes and gets, you know, gets the kill on Lux with Lulu help, or not Lulu, wow, with Ahri help. So at least, you know, the jungle is going ahead and getting the kills for the blue team. That's still worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
Blitzcrank right now is actually going ahead and taking that ward out down here at the bottom lane. He did go ahead and pink ward that, so it's a nice 25 gold for him. Just in general, we see Nasus falling a little behind, well, actually pulling ahead a little bit to, you know, just the farm of this Zac. You know, it's to be expected. You know, Nasus is going to want to go ahead and get the Siphon Strikes up as quickly as possible. And that's the main way he's going to be last hitting is with the Siphon Strikes.
Yeah, as you said, Nasus is barely pulling ahead, but on the other hand, Zac does have the 1 kill ahead. But as you said, like, Nasus wants to farm up his Q, so that's the main reason Hecarim's been babysitting him.
Exactly, and Ahri versus Lux right now. Ahri has a 10 kill, or just about to be 10 kill advantage, but Lux does have a kill, whereas Ahri doesn't.
Yeah, and Ahri also, Lux has an assist over Ahri as well.
Very true, and the ult comes out here from both Ahri and Lux trying to chase down that Ahri, and Ahri will die just barely to that ignite from Lux.
Yeah, that final tick was barely able to kill her.
Very, very beautiful play right there by both players, but that Lux, man. Loosened Singularity for the win.
Yeah, it looks like Sejuani's going towards Hecarim's blue. Maybe looking for a dive? No, she's just going to ward it.
She might try and, you know, leap over the wall, which she actually doesn't. She catches Hecarim out here. She's actually doing a surprising amount of damage to him, and her teammates are stopping bottom from going ahead and helping Hecarim. And that's a nice little polymorph right there by Lulu, and that Lucian may actually die here, or Blitzcrank will die. One of them will, and it looks like it's going to be Blitzcrank dies to Sejuani right there. Beautiful by Sejuani in the meantime, and Lucian's going to go ahead and die here to that Ezreal. And it looks like that, wow, double kill for Ezreal with the ultimate right there onto Hecarim. And now Lux is bottom to try and, you know, save this tower for a little bit. But in all honesty, I think that they could, you know, poke this tower down just a little bit, maybe drop it by, you know, a couple hundred hit points, and it's exactly what they're doing. Sejuani's going to come around from the back here, and she may force Lux to either die or just be pushed out of the way, and she will die to that Ezreal.
That was 3 kills for Ezreal to pick up right there. That's definitely very much in the blue team's favor.
Very true. And as we can check, you know, with the gold, there's, you know, a surprising gold difference now between Lucian and Ezreal. Just between the CS alone, and then the fact that Ezreal picked up 3 kills right there. That is a huge tell right there. And this looks like the Sejuani's going to go ahead and maybe die here by Hecarim. No, beautiful taunt right there by Ahri, and Ahri will pick up the, maybe she'll pick up the kill. No, she will not pick up the kill on that Hecarim. He will just barely survive, and almost grab right there by Blitzcrank onto Ahri.
That Hecarim was only able to survive due to a misplay by Ahri. She accidentally dashed. She was misjudging the range on her ult, and it just wasn't able to kill it. Like, she dashed in the wrong way.
Yeah, and now, you know, GOG is going to go ahead and, deward Dragon. They're going to try and just deward as much as they possibly can and continue up their farm. As we can see, Nasus already has his Spectre's Cowl, and he might be working on his, the name escapes me for some reason, his Mercury Treads. No, his Mercury Treads for the, increased tenacity.
Oh, and while it's happening, we actually had Lux almost kill Ahri with their combo. Ahri was barely able to flash out of there.
Very true, and Lux, if she didn't waste her ultimate in that engagement, she would have actually been able to snipe Ahri, had she had her ultimate available.
She actually used it to almost kill her right there.
Then, hey, close but no cigar on that one. Meantime, Lucian taking a surprising amount of damage here from both Ezreal and Lulu. This is, very interesting to see. Lucian played the first game that we're casting tonight. We get to see his strengths and weaknesses right off the bat.
Yeah, definitely. This lane, for Ezreal and Lulu, now that they are ahead, it's definitely in their favor just due to the fact of Ezreal and Lulu are heavy poke, while Blitzcrank and Lucian are heavy engage, and if they're able to just, not get pulled by Blitzcrank, they should be able to poke them down and just basically tower dive them if they want.
Very true, and it looks like Blitzcrank right here actually manages to grab Ezreal, but Ezreal shifts out of that, and both of them will be able to survive. I believe Hecarim did pop his ultimate during that to try and get into the engagement, and I think that was just a complete misuse of that Hecarim ult. In the meantime, up at top we have Nasus and Zac still going at it, and Zac is taking some damage, but Nasus is still farming up that Q. He's at 132 damage now with that. And in the meantime, Ezreal gets the kill on Lucian down at bottom with his ultimate yet again.
Yeah, I missed that. But just another thing to know is Ahri's been doing a ton of damage onto the tower in mid lane. And the Hecarim, while he's tried to make a lot of plays happen, he really hasn't been able to do much, and he's starting to fall behind.
Very true. And as we see, Sejuani right here is, preparing for a gank up here on this Lux. And she may or may not be able to succeed, or they'll go for Dragon. And that Dragon is dewarded now by the blue team, so Dragon is a viable option. No idea why Lulu's tanking Dragon, though. I guess they're going to go ahead and switch out now.
Apparently, Ezreal and Lulu decided they're just going to duo Dragon.
Yeah, and not a bad choice at all. Sejuani now will go in and try and help them. Meantime, we had a little skirmish going on up at top, and, both Zac and Nasus going ham on each other, and Zac pops his ultimate, and he might be able to get Nasus right here. He will be able to just barely, and that, wow, Zac just lucky that his ult or passive was on or off of cooldown. In the meantime, Lux did manage to go ahead and get the kill on Nasus. Or I'm sorry, not Lux. Ahri got the kill on Nasus. No idea where my scoreboard went, but it's no longer here, guys. Sorry. There we go. So in general, just looking at the champions and how the game is playing out right now, I want to give the slight edge to the blue team, but the purple team is definitely not out of this by any means whatsoever. This game is going to be very close one way or another. 3,000 gold separates the teams, 5 kills in total, and very, very minor CS differences between the tops, between the middles. Pretty big CS difference between the ADCs, and the jungles are almost on par with each other.
Yeah, while blue team is actually taking the lead in this game, I don't know, their comp is really strong, but the one thing I seem them to be missing is damage. They have the assassination from Ahri, and they have the poke from Ezreal, but once they get in there with a Sejuani ult and Zac ult on top of each other, they have all the CC, but I don't see much damage coming out from them.
Very true, and as we said at the beginning of this game, there's that Athene's Unholy Grail for Lux. Very standard item indeed for her.
Yeah, definitely. That's also yet a sister, just to the magic resist from Ahri's assassination.
Exactly, and as we see, Sejuani and Lulu actually going to be taking Hecarim's blue right now. Blitzcrank knows about this, and he's actually going to be, just trying to, do some minor damage. He may actually be able to land a clip here if he's lucky. But looks like the blue team is going to go ahead and back away after stealing that blue and giving it to Sejuani.
Not only that, but at top we have a scrimmage going on between Zach and Nasus. It's a very slow fight, but they're still definitely doing damage to each
Very
other.
true. And in the meantime, Ezreal gets the kill on Lux down here after Lulu went ahead and popped her ult on Sejuani. Ahri in the meantime got the kill on Blitzcrank and gets the kill on Hecarim as well. So nice trade-off down here at bottom, 0 for 2. Or 0, yeah, 0 for 2, and that ult almost kills Lucian here. And this is definitely not going good for the purple team whatsoever.
And Nasus is trying to get back and defend, but Zach's just trying to stop him from doing it.
Which, I mean, in all honesty, Zach could do, but he's more focused on getting his CS higher than Nasus is. So you have to remember, once Nasus has his Q rolling, once the Typhon Strike starts hitting like a truck, he's very, very tough to deal with, especially once he pops his ultimate. He gets that increased health, the AoE, you know, life steal, I guess you could say, or life to yeah, don't even know what you would call it.
Percent health damage.
The percent, yeah, the percent health damage from Nasus' ult, that comes into a big effect, and then you top Wither with that, and the Spirit Flare. That's just a lot of damage that he can dish out at one given time.
Nasus was chasing that Zach, but he's have to be careful because there is 4 members of the blue team rotate to top, but Lulu is caught by the Blitz. She does go down.
Yeah, initially she was caught by that Lux, and then she got caught by Blitzcrank, and Lucian went ahead and did his Ardent Blaze as well, and was just able to give himself, you know, a lot of extra damage onto that Lulu and help secure the kill. And Lux with the ultimate right there, killing Ahri. Nice ult right there by Sejuani, but she just jumps into a 4v1. She's gonna have to go ahead and back out here. In the meantime, Ezreal is trying to go ahead and damage that Hecarim down, is able to, and there's that ultimate coming out right there from Lucian, but it doesn't do that much damage. It does very minor damage to Ezreal and some damage to that Sejuani, but it's not enough to kill either one of them.
And not only that, we have Nasus trying to tower dive Zach up the top lane.
And he will be able to. Nasus now is gonna be that beast that, you know, we've been talking about. He's starting to get that farm very high up, and Sejuani now trying to go ahead and dive under the tower to Nasus, and that Wither is just gonna, you know, make her unable to kill him.
Not only that, but Ezreal and Lux are starting to pressure the mid tower. Lux was gonna go and wave clear him off though, but they should be able to do some poking damage on it.
They are, and one big thing I also want to mention is this Ezreal's going blue Ezreal, not red. For those of you that don't know the difference, blue Ezreal, you get your Iceborne Gauntlets, you get a Manamune, which turns into the Muramana, and yeah, you just get all the blue items in the game. No red items whatsoever, like Bloodthirster. And while this is going on, Lucian actually manages to pick up the kill on Ezreal.
And at this time, Ahri's gonna go ahead and pick up that blue buff. This way, her assassinations will be able to come out way more, so she'll be able to start split pushing if she wishes, and her 1v1 power will be much stronger as well.
Definitely, and she's hovering around the 30% CDR mark right now, which in general, everybody wants to hit that 40% CDR, so that way you can go ahead and, cast your abilities as quickly as possible, because that is the cap.
Another thing I'd like to point out is the purple team only has one ward down right now. Like, they really have no map control at all.
That is something to note. That's just very bad map coverage. And meantime, this Ahri gets caught out here by Lux, and she barely survives. She actually goes ahead and, uses her ult to get away, and she uses her ult to get back into this engagement. Meantime, Blitzcrank goes ahead and flashes over the wall. We got a nice ult by Zach right there, going ahead and helping kill that Nasus. We got Zach going and getting the kill on Hecarim. We got Sejuani getting the kill on Nasus, and Sejuani going ham now, and she's backing out now. She's very, very low in health. Zach's passive is about to, allow him to go ahead and regen some of his health back. Ezreal, in the meantime, gets the kill on Lux, and that Ahri going ahead and getting the kill on Blitzcrank right underneath that tower.
That was a very good fight for them. They were all stacked up, so Ahri's Q was able to hit quite a bit of people. And all the CC from Zach and Sejuani was just able to hit multiple people no matter what. It was very well in their favor.
Very, very true. Now, the one thing we haven't touched on at all is the fact that, the supports. They're equal on, last hits, but look at the item differences. Lulu's actually placed a lot of wards down, whereas Blitzcrank hasn't. And they pretty much have almost the same items. Lulu just doesn't have her tier 2 boots. In the meantime, Hecarim right here pops his ult onto this Ezreal, and Ezreal going ahead and dying here to that Lucian, and not Blitzcrank. Hecarim gets killed by Zac in the meantime, and Lucian gets the kill on Lulu as well. So the purple team again is definitely not out of this. They're just in an uphill battle at this point. Ahri's now doing work on this Lux in middle, and she is able to get the kill even underneath the tower for a split second. Very powerful.
Yeah, definitely. But as you said, the purple team definitely is not out of this. I personally think the longer that this match goes on, the better they'll have a chance. Just due to the fact that Hecarim and Nasus are such powerful people once they actually get the items that they need, but Hecarim is just so far behind right now.
Very, very true. I mean, again, one of the saving graces they have is the fact that Nasus, his Q, again, will start hitting like a truck. It is very, very potent, and people should not underestimate it. But he just hasn't had enough time to go ahead and farm, and he doesn't have that much base attack damage. His attack damage is only 75. He would want that to be, at least 100 by now, but he's had, forced to go for tankier items such as the Mercury Treads, the Spirit Visage. And, he hasn't had enough time to farm items that he wants, like the Phage, or, go for that Trinity Force that we all know he's gonna want.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to point out the Lucian's build right now. I'm not familiar with Lucian at all right now, but it's very wonky looking, to say the least, to me.
Very, very interesting indeed. I think he got the Black Cleaver to go ahead and get, the stacks Black Cleaver up on people quicker, just because his ult can, he can move while he's ulting, so he can hit multiple people at the same time. I think that's the biggest reason. He can ult, dash, hit two people, hit one person before a dash, hit another person after a dash, so that's, 1 to 2 stacks per person, and if he kills a person, he can dash again and again and again and again if he continuously kills people. So, I think that's why he went for it. I'm not entirely sure why he has the tier of the Goddess, though. That's throwing me off.
Lucian's actually a very mana-hungry champion from what I've seen so far, and I've heard some people talking about it, but I haven't actually seen it work out too well before.
Yeah, this is, again, my first time seeing him in play, so we will just have to see how this plays out. A nice pull by Blitzcrank right there, but Ezreal does go ahead and, Arcane Shift out of it. Nice ult by Ezreal right there, allowing Lux to go ahead and get the kill on both Blitzcrank and on Hecarim. Meantime, we just have a bunch of ults going off right here. Lucian gets the kill on Ahri, Ezreal gets the kill on Nasus, and that Lucian's in deep trouble, and he dies right there to that Zac. And Lulu gets killed by Lux, and Lux now is going to go ahead and die to Ezreal. That's an ace, and now that top tier 3 tower should, die. If not, it's going to be in severe trouble, and, I'm going to say it's going to die, and they'll get a few, nice shots off on the inhibitor. If anything, they might take the inhibitor if they're greedy enough.
I think things are actually starting to look pretty grim for the purple team at this point.
And as we say that, Hecarim goes ahead and ult and gets the kill onto Ezreal, and he will get the kill onto Sejuani as well. And now that Zac is in dire trouble he's in dire need to get away, let's put it that way. And doesn't look like he's going to be able to, and he dies to Hecarim as well.
That was actually exactly what Hecarim needed. He needed a bunch of gold. He's just way too far behind.
Yeah, and I find it funny when Blitzcrank goes ahead and pops his, overdrive, he has a police siren going as he's, with that skin of Riot Blitzcrank. Just saying, that's awesome.
The team's going for a Blitzcrank, not Blitzcrank attempt, but Baron attempt.
Yeah, and they did change Baron to where you don't deal less damage to champions, you just do less damage to Baron if you have his debuff. But Lucian gets the kill on Ahri, but Ahri almost got the kill on Lux, so I don't know if that's worth it. Two of the purple team are very dangerously low, so they're gonna go ahead and back away here.
Yeah, that was definitely a good choice by Ahri. She was able to force him to back off the Baron.
Yes, and as I was just saying a minute ago, Baron's debuff has been changed where it now makes you do less damage to Baron and not other champions for when engagements like that happen.
Oh, Lulu and Sejuani are catching Lucian now. Blitzcrank pulls Lulu under tower, but Sejuani is able to take down the Lucian.
And Lulu's still able to survive, just barely though. And decent ult by Sejuani. I think that could have been saved for a better opportunity, because now she doesn't have it for another 100 seconds. So, good close to 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm definitely have to agree with you. She should have saved that.
And in the meantime, this Ezreal is going to go ahead and die right here after getting his ult off. Ezreal dies to Hecarim, and Zac gets the kill on Luxor and all this. Zac now going around underneath that tower and taking a few kills. He actually gets the kill on Hecarim as well, and that Nasus dies to Zac. Blitzcrank gets the kill on Lulu, and Zac just going completely ham, and that's a quadra kill for Zac. And his passive goes ahead and pops. He will get at least 1 to 2 blobs in. No, he actually dies right there. It's the ultimate of Lucian. Good play by him. Lucian definitely needed that gold to become back on par with Ezreal. You can see there's about a 2,000 gold difference between Lucian and Ezreal just because of the kills. The CS does come into play, but the kills are now where it's starting to be at.
Yeah, definitely. Although Ezreal does have a 40 CS difference, and if you just look at all the lanes, the blue team they're all taking ahead against their lane opponent, I guess you would call them, in CS wise. Even if it's only by 30, it seems like the smallest differences.
Yeah, and actually, the first tier, the tier 1 towers for blue team are all up. I mean, some of them are pretty damaged, like the top tower. It's had, just under 800 health, whereas the middle tower is almost near full.
Yeah, the global gold that the blue team has gotten for themselves is definitely starting to take effect now.
Yeah, there's a 11,000 gold difference. It's pretty grim right now. They need that Nasus to go ahead and get some AD, otherwise he's almost going to be useless. He's just going to be there to tank. And Nasus is actually, in the meantime, forced to use his ult to try and survive here. Lucian actually going ahead and dying there to Lulu, of all people. Hecarim gets the tower kill up at top. Ahri gets the kill on Nasus during all of this. Wow, Sejuani goes ahead and gets the kill as well onto Blitzcrank.
All that was going on, Zac just tried to solo that Lux, but he wasn't able to kill her.
Yeah, this is definitely grim.
Yeah, it's starting to not look so hot for the purple team.
Yeah, I mean, there are things they can do. They could have taken Baron earlier if they did. Well, if they were able to take Baron, then this game would have looked differently. But I think that Baron, that Baron negation, or not negation, the Baron halts that the blue team put on purple team's, endeavors, certainly made it worse for the purple team. As you said earlier, that Ahri played to just stop the purple team from taking Baron is really paying off now as well.
Yeah, but while they are falling behind, it's starting to look pretty grim for them. You can't completely count them out. Lucian does do a good amount of damage now, and Nasus and Hecarim are pretty tanky each. They are both pretty tanky, and they can do pretty good damage as well.
Yes, and actually, Sejuani used her ultimate right here on Lux. It wasn't able to hit Lux, but they, were still able to slow her, and that Hecarim actually just ults right in right there, and going straight for that Ahri. And, wow, Hecarim dies right there to Ezreal while chasing Ahri, and Lux gets the kill on Sejuani with the Binding Light. And now Nasus actually goes in and gets the kill on Ahri right underneath that tower. Nasus now actually doing some work, and Lux gets the kill on Lulu as well. Nice pull by Blitzcrank right there, and Ezreal didn't have an answer for it at that given point. And now that's just going to be a dead Ezreal, and Lucian will take that kill.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pull by Blitzcrank, but all at this time, this Zac is pushing at top lane. While he does have his Sunfire Cape, Zac still isn't the fastest of pushers, and he definitely isn't the fastest tower taker.
Definitely not. I mean, in team fights, he's annoying, he's a tank, and again, tanks are going to be annoying. They're there to soak the damage. If Blitzcrank can get one good, pull on, say, Lulu, Ahri, or even Ezreal, that can change the whole game around. Because if you shut Lulu's ult down, for instance, that's a big, big AoE knockup that you just took out of the game, as well as her, transmogrify, where she turns somebody into into a critter for a few seconds. That's very huge, as well as giving her teammates a shield.
Definitely. And the one thing that's probably keeping the purple team in it, if anything, is this blitzcrank. He's pulling people non-stop. He's playing very well.
Yeah, and just some things I'm still wondering on is why the Manamune for Lucian. I understand he has mana problems, but usually those sorts of things clear up by this time. And beautiful ult right there by that Sejuani. Nice ult by Lulu, allowing Ari to go ahead and get the kill on Lucian right away, and Zach goes ahead and gets the kill on Blitzcrank. Zach also gets the kill on Nasus. I think that's going to be all she wrote for the purple team now. Only 2 left alive, and all left alive for the blue team.
Yeah, it looks like the blue team is going to go ahead and take it right here. And the GGs are being called out by the players in chat.
Yeah, they fought valiantly. I will give them that. I think it's just they didn't have proper engagements. Ari will get the kill on Luxor and all of this, and, I think, there's not much more that can be said other than, there's just some engagements they could have had better placements on, and, would have been a completely different ball game.
Yeah, I think that the engagements could have been completely different if they had way more wards. Like, their ward placement was not very well good.
Definitely. It's one of those things where if you don't have your ward placement correct, then that will certainly change the layout of the game entirely. The blue team did have a lot of good ward coverage that allowed them to go ahead and get those good engagements. So, it just shows you guys, you gotta have those ward placements in order to go ahead and, have good engagements. Not much more can be said about that.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got Lucian versus Caitlyn as the ADCs. Top, it looks like it's going to be, I want to say Riven versus Renekton. For middle, it's obviously going to be Orianna versus Ari. It supports Fiddlesticks versus Nami. Yeah, Fiddlesticks is annoying as hell as a support. That fear can turn games.
And just coming out to say it now, Lucian's range is only 550, and I'm not 100% sure on what Caitlyn's is right now, but she does outrange him quite a bit. Sorry, her range is 650. So by far,
yeah,
as everyone knows, Caitlyn is the longest range, but Lucian's range is pretty short, so she's gonna be able to poke him down quite a bit in that lane.
She does have the longest range until Tristana hits about level 14. Then they are on equal terms, if not better. Tristana will have higher range come level 18.
Yeah, I believe hers comes up to I want to say 700, but I think that's too far.
No,
Cosmo's range is even longer than hers, but his is only because of an ability.
This is true. Tristana does have, I believe, 675 or 700 when she is level 18. She slightly outranges Caitlyn. She's on par with Kog'Maw when he does pop his ability. Other than that...
Sorry to cut you off, I just looked it up. Her range at level 18 is 703. Just to clarify for me.
Ah, so yes, she is slightly better than Caitlyn in that respect come level 18. However, the base attack damage, base attack speed are totally different. Tristana does have, the ability to rapid fire and gain more attack speed. Just
yeah, definitely. And while Caitlyn's very dominant in lane, that's the one thing she misses. She does not have a steroid for herself like many other AD carries do.
Exactly. So we'll have to see. I mean, we can say Lucian does have, he does kind of have that burst with, Relentless Pursuit, Ardent Blaze into Piercing Light. But then he's out of abilities to use.
But just to say again for that Lucian pick, the other team does have Nasus, and that's going to be very good for him, just due to the fact whenever Nasus puts his Wither on him, he can just dash and the slow will be gone. Although the attack speed debuff will still be there, I believe.
Very true, but they did reduce the attack speed to, I believe, 60 or 70%. It's not the full, 90% that it was originally. So there have been balance changes to his Wither, so we'll have to see how this, plays out. They also did change Riven to where her third attack of Broken Wings is the only one that can make her jump over walls. So we will have to go ahead and see how that affects her this game. Before it used to be all 3 charges of her Broken Wings can put her over a wall. Now it's just that single one. Or I'm sorry, it's just the 3rd one in the line of 3.
And of course, my LoL client crashes again. It's a good thing I am not the streamer today.
Good thing. And
I have terrible luck with the LoL client today.
Actually, looks like, yeah, it's going to be Riven top versus Renekton, Nasus jungle versus the Jarvan jungle. We've got Ari middle versus that Orianna, which, standard, and then Nami and Lucian versus Caitlyn and Fiddlesticks. Very interesting, to say the least.
I think the lane that's going to be to watch is going to be that top lane with Renekton and Riven. They both like to fight it out in the laning phase. Although Renekton will end up being better than her in the late game just due to the fact that Riven isn't the best team fighter. She's much better for like 1v1s and 2v2s and things like that.
Very true. And you can't, just because they have Fiddle support, that actually puts them in a bigger advantage, in my opinion, because they have that, fear that you almost cannot negate until you have some sort of tenacity. If you have tenacity from your masteries, good. That's amazing. And it also stacks with, tenacity items such as your Mercury Treads, your Zephyr, stuff like that.
On the other hand, just coming out of the purple team, they don't have an insanely strong engage. Like, they're going to be looking for a charm out of Ahri, or for a Renekton dash into a flash into another dash and a stun. Other than that, the best they have is a Nasus with a Wither and Ghost. But coming from the other team, you have a Nami Bubble, Orianna, and Jarvan. Those are just 3 very strong initiations right there.
Yes, and then you toss into account Ribbon just diving in, not really caring, because once she's in, she can get that AoE stun off and stun, 2, 3, 4 people. And that can be devastating as well, especially if it's on somebody like, say, Ahri, Caitlyn, Fiddlesticks, and Nasus. So,
yeah, not only that, the Nami, the Orianna, the Riven, heck, even the Lucian ult, they all combo insanely well with that Jarvan ult.
very, very true indeed.
Looks like we're going to probably be having a super wombo combo if they can pull it off right, coming out of the blue team.
Definitely, if you have Orianna ult into Jarvan ult into Nami ult, with Lucian ulting in the meantime, and then you toss Riven's ult somewhere in there as well, it's a lot of AoE, it's a lot of burst, and the only ones that would be able to survive that from TB would be Renekton and Nasus.
Oh, it looks like the blue team's going to invade this red. And the purple team's very spread out right now, trying to play defensive, but they didn't have anything to defend the top tri-bush.
No, they don't, and yes, they have Fiddlesticks right here waiting. He hasn't actually gotten anything yet for level 1. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go ahead and get, his Fear level 1 just because of that fact of, oh, hey, Fear level 1. Yes, it's only a few, half a second or something like that, but that's, that's better than nothing. Fear actually does last a second at level 1. That's pretty big, and it's going to be the Invade right here. And that's going to be a dead somebody from the looks of it. Looks like it's going to be Nasus first. Nasus dies first to that Riven with, whole team supporting on that one.
Oh yeah, that's going to be very good for the Riven because, as I said earlier, she's very strong in the lane. She loves to fight. And with that early lead, that's going to be very good for her.
Very true. And it looks like the blue team now is still going to go ahead and steal that red from that Nasus, which, not to be, not surprised at that whatsoever. They will go ahead and leave, the 2 lesser lizards up, or at least one of them, to deny the most amount of experience. Other than that, Jarvan should be able to get out of there. And Renekton actually comes in here to try and just help defend that Nasus for a few seconds.
And while he's doing that, he's actually missing out on CS at top lane, and Riven's going to beat him to lane, which is just going to be another thing that's just going to tip the scales in her favor.
Very true, but in the meantime, talking about CS, Caitlyn's already slightly ahead of Lucian, but Lucian does have that assist and actually doing a surprising amount of damage to that Caitlyn with that Nami knockup. Very potent indeed.
Yeah, I think that's the lane that we actually get to see more fights out than you would usually, just due to the fact Fiddlesticks is very strong fights, but he's also strong as poke, so if he plays it well, they may be able to just poke him down and win. But Nami does has quite a bit of sustain coming from her W.
Definitely, and he actually got his Dark Wind first. He got Silence first instead of Fear. You know, all of his abilities are great to get at level 1, just that way you can do some sort of, trickery like that. Whether it be the Silence, the Fear, the Drain. When you're support, if you're jungle, different story. And nice knockup again by Nami, and Caitlyn just taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, while that's going on at bot lane, mid lane, like, they both are trading very hard and doing quite a bit of damage to each other, but it seems to be pretty even.
This is true. You have to remember, Orianna did get an assist from that first blood, so it is putting her on even grounds with the Ahri that is, slightly ahead on CS.
And another thing though is Ahri started with Dorn's ring, while Orianna started with Fairy Charm. And not only that, but Orianna used her Ignite while killing that Nasus, and Ahri still has hers, so once she hits level 6, if they have not backed, that could be quite a big, difference.
Yes, and, Orianna does have, little more mana regen than Ahri just base without any items, so we'll have to see how this all comes into effect.
Lucian was able to take down Fiddlesticks there due to a Nami bubble, I believe.
Really? Nice. Very good play by him, and looks like Riven right now is in deep trouble right here, getting ganked by Nasus at the top lane, and she's way out of position, and she's gonna go ahead and, die right here, maybe actually die. She does die to that Nasus and Renekton combo.
The brotherly love was too strong for her.
Yeah. Wither plus, everything else, too strong.
Although, just another thing to note, that is a very powerful combo late game. The AoE magic damage that their ults allow them to do is quite a bit.
Yes, and meantime, Jarvan comes in here to middle and tries to, just do some damage to Ahri, try and force her back, and he's able to do so. This is, definitely something to, keep in... something to keep in mind when you're watching this is the fact that they do have a Nasus. It's a jungle Nasus at that. So his Q will be hitting harder quicker. So, yeah, he has uncontested, farm. He's going to be a lot more potent than anything else. And you're welcome, whoever that is in chat that, is complaining about camera.
And another thing to note is Jarvan decided to go Adorn's Blade instead of finishing his Spirit Stone, I believe it's called? The blue thing?
Yep.
Yeah, he's decided to go for Adorn's Blade, so that would be more for an early aggression, but he has yet to pull out a successful gank, but he is camping at top trying to wait for that Renekton.
This is true, and just looking, up at top, Renekton does not know that Jarvan is there, but he has to know something's up. He has to. I mean, nobody sees, nobody's seen the jungle in quite some time, and Blue Team must know as well that Nasus is right there waiting for them to try and dive.
And not only that, but Nasus was coming down bot for a lane gank, but Blue Team had pushed the lane up and they smelled something fishy, so they just backed off.
Yeah. Meantime, Riven right now is actually, pushing this tower very aggressively, and now Jarvan's just waiting for the lane gank. And... it's gonna work, and fail ult right there by Orianna trying to get that Nami, or not Nami, trying to get that Ahri in it. So, I believe Orianna doesn't have her ultimate. No, Ahri does now have her ultimate. She did just hit level 6. So, her ultimate is available, whereas Orianna's isn't. And that's a nice jump in right there by that Jarvan, and Renekton will survive just due to the fact that he pops his ultimate to do so.
Yeah, but as we were talking about Ahri's ultimate, while she does have her ultimate, she does not have the mana enough for it.
This is true, and nice ult right there by Jarvan, allowing, Riven to come in there and help Jarvan get the kill on that Renekton. So successful, I guess you can say, gank by Jarvan. And that Riven's going to go ahead and back away here from Nasus. And it's going to be probably dead Nasus right here. And that's a nice knockup, and Riven gets the kill on Nasus. Nice play indeed.
The tower dive for 2 kills there. That was very well. That was played very well by them.
It is. And Lucian right now just trying to get as much farm as possible. He is ahead slightly on CS versus Caitlyn. And he does, does still have that first blood advantage that, the rest of his team kind of doesn't. He also has the effect of that 1 assist from the early game. So we'll have to see how this, goes ahead and plays into effect.
Yeah, that Nasus, well, he hasn't had, like, that many successful ganks outside the one on Riven up top. He's died twice in his farms, even with Jarvan.
Very true.
Things aren't looking amazing for him, but things aren't terrible for him as well.
No, and you have to remember, again, Nasus is, in the jungle. Yes, he's been in the jungle more often than Jarvan was, because Jarvan was at the top for so long that he forfeited his, advantage that he had over Nasus as far as CS goes.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Nasus is going to go ahead and hand over that blue to Ahri.
Not surprised at all. Very, very standard. That gives Ahri the ability to almost go ahead and spam her abilities non-stop. In the meantime, Riven and Renekton going back at it yet again. And Riven coming out slightly ahead, forcing Renekton back.
And Renekton's already got a chain vest as well as a cloth armor, so he's going to have quite a bit of armor.
Yes, and that Riven just really wanted that Renekton dead. And we see full-on, bottom engagement almost going to be happening soon. And Riven gets the kill on Renekton right underneath that tower, just barely though. And now we've got, Caitlyn doing some damage just back and forth. And Fiddle with the drain right here, draining a lot of health from that Lucian. And now Nasus comes in here and puts the wither around to Lucian, and Lucian flashes out of the way.
And Orianna's coming down as well.
Very true. In the meantime, blue team did go ahead and get Dragon as well, so they are now ahead on gold by a pretty big chunk. 3,000 gold is a big difference at this point in time. And, things will just start to snowball out of control if the purple team doesn't do something soon. And... oh, go ahead.
It looks like Jarvan really wants to fight at bot lane, but he's just not able to force it. The purple team's playing very cautious. Although Ahri is coming down now, so if they want to fight, they will be able to. And Nasus is staying around. It looks like they really are looking for a fight, but he was on top of a ward.
Yeah, there's very little that the blue team doesn't know about right now. Just taking a look at the look at the ward coverage. Blue team's got a good chunk of the map, good key points of the map warded, whereas the purple team, meh, they're missing a ward here and there. They do have nice coverage at bottom, but blue team has a little more vision just because, where the ward is placed over at Dragon.
Yeah, definitely. I'd just like to talk about something about when that Renekton died to Riven up top lane. He waited so long to use his ult. Even when he activated, the health didn't actually appear because there is a slight delay before it shows up. And he died in between activating it and it coming up, so his ult went on cooldown. It was a little sad.
That is definitely not good. Speaking of Riven and Renekton looks like he's building towards a Thornmail first. Riven, I wouldn't be surprised to see her almost go straight for that, go straight for the Black Cleaver and maybe get a Phage or something else. In the meantime, Jarvan helps his ult right here in the middle to go ahead and get Nasus to die. Nasus caught right underneath the tower.
That was a very well placed ult by Jarvan. But just another thing said about Renekton, I don't think he'll be going for Thornmail. I think those will be used for Ninja Tabby, the cloth armor well. And I think the chain vest will later be turned into a Sunfire cape.
You could certainly be right. We will have to see.
That is just going off of the common Renekton
yeah.
style.
Both are very, very viable options. We'll have to see what he goes for. I'm actually more leaning towards what you said, the Ninja Tabi and Sunfire.
Yeah, but Thornmail would also be good against Riven. Their team is heavy AD.
True, Lucian now has his Bloodthirster, so good for him. And, versus Caitlyn, who still doesn't have hers. Lucian's very far ahead, as we can plainly tell. However, he is losing out on valuable CS now. He's actually on par with that Caitlyn. And lots of damage coming in onto that Nasus underneath his tower.
But yeah, this is definitely a more of a general style build that I thought I would be seeing for Lucian. It gives him a lot more AD, which will scale a lot better with his abilities, and it'll give him a lot more power of wave clear, because that's one thing Lucian does definitely have. His Q and W give him a lot of wave clear.
This is true. And just taking a look at the gold differences real quick, between the tops is about a 2,000 gold difference in favor of Riven. Between the jungles, it's about 1,200, or yeah, about 1,000 in favor of that Jarvan. And you know, as we're saying, this Nami almost dies right here, and she actually gets out of the way of that Fiddle ult that was chained right in front of her, and that Lucian's gonna just barely able to survive right here. Caitlyn trying to do some work right down there as well onto that Nami, and Riven in the meantime gets the kill on Ahri in middle. And this is just a back and forth engagement down here at bottom. Caitlyn gets the ult off, but it's intercepted by Jarvan. There's just going to be some poke damage onto that Lucian.
Yeah, during that fight at bot lane, Jarvan was able to come from behind, like from the tower way, and come behind him, but he missed his EQ combo, and he wasn't able to actually make any plays from it. But they will take that tower. And Renekton's pushing it top lane. I don't know if he'll be able to take it, but he'll be able to at least do a lot of damage to it.
I think with this wave coming in, he should be able to, take it down very, very low, if not take it. Going back to the gold differences real quick again, Riven is now 2.1k ahead of Renekton. We've got Jarvan about about 900 away, 900 difference between him and Nasus in favor of Jarvan. Between the middles, it is looking like about 1,000 difference between Orianna and Ahri in favor of Orianna, obviously. We've got Nami and Fiddlesticks, about 500 gold difference in favor of Nami. Between Caitlyn and Lucian,
oh, Jarvan just stole the blue.
That's a beautiful steal right there. And putting him even further ahead of Nasus. And we've got an 800 gold difference between Caitlyn and Lucian. That is very, very big. That is a pickaxe, well, close to a pickaxe difference between both of them. So,
definitely. And Riven's just gonna go ahead and, oh wow, she actually killed the blue buff. She was saving it for quite a bit of time, and Orianna finally started coming over. And once Orianna got there, Riven just launched it. It's like
troll. And Renekton now trying to, push top back a little bit. Caitlyn now has her Bloodthirster. And, just gonna have to see what she builds into. I wouldn't be surprised to see, a Zeal come out from her next. Or maybe go for the pickaxe and start working towards the Infinity Edge.
Yeah, I personally think we will be seeing that Zeal, as you said. And I think it may be built into a Phantom Dancer or a Shiv. That's probably going to be a Phantom Dancer.
Most likely a Phantom Dancer, so that way she can go ahead and get that increased move speed, as well as, just the ability to walk through creeps, so that way she's not creep blocked.
Yeah, and as we said before the game, Caitlyn does not have, an attack steroid, such as, a lot of the other AD carries do. So, the more attack speed she can get from items, the better.
Yep, and beautiful right there by Jarvan, allowing Nami to get a nice ult in as well. And Riven goes ahead and gets the kill on Nasus during all of this. Ahri trying to go ahead and kite the rest of the blue team, and dies right there to Riven. Ahri does manage to get the kill on Jarvan, however, during all of that. And looks like that's going to be it as far as that engagement goes, but it's now 9-2 for, kills. Definitely not good. Lucian silenced multiple times right here by this Fiddlesticks. And Renekton going ahead and diving in here, and there's nothing we can do. Or nothing they can do, rather.
Yeah, they're just gonna wait out that ult from Renekton, and it looks like they're thinking about going back in, at least to stop the dragon. Orianna is coming in, and she does have her ultimate.
And Fiddlesticks is channeling his ult, and he gets his ult off, but it's not doing any damage to anyone. That is a very, very, very bad ultimate by him. Could have saved that for a better engagement time.
And those were two ults just wasted by their team.
Yep, and Renekton dies right there to Riven with the help of Nami, Lucian, and Orianna.
And now they're definitely going to be able to take the dragon.
Definitely, and there's really nothing the purple team can do to stop this. And nice ult right there by Orianna. That should allow the blue team to get the kill. No, Nasus steals the kill. And Orianna gets the kill on both Fiddlesticks and on Caitlyn. Riven gets the kill on both Ahri and on Nasus.
And the purple team actually is aced right now. That while the purple team got the dragon, they lost 4 people for it, and that is definitely not worth it. We see the blue team starting to rotate towards mid. They'll probably be taking that tower.
Yeah. I mean, if Fiddle had his ult there, that would have been way better. But I will have to hand it to TB. They did go ahead and steal that dragon from the blue team. So, yes, they got aced, but they did get a global objective that helped all of them at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
And for those of you that aren't paying attention to chat, we actually are doing a giveaway after this match is done. So, if you want to enter into that, stay tuned to chat, and you will be informed on how to enter once this game is over.
Let me just join chat real quick.
Mods are not eligible for this, giveaway, so...
This will be my last minute with Infinity Gaming. I'll show it later.
Anyway, looks like now Riven has her Bloodthirster now. So, yeah, and actually as we see, Renekton now has that Sunfire cape, as you were saying earlier, so the Ninja Tabby shouldn't be that far away. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Mercury Treads coming out here from Renekton instead of the Ninja Tabby, just because of the different forms of CC that, IGB have.
To be honest, I think the only saving grace that the purple team has right now, just coming from kills wise, is that most of the kills have been on that Riven. And Riven will drop off later into the game.
She will, but she will definitely be annoying regardless.
That is true.
And, the only people with kills on the purple team are Renekton and Ahri. And Renekton, speaking of, he's actually about to, he was about to die right there, and that beautiful ult all around for the blue team right there. Got Jarvan ulting into a Nami ult, and Jarvan gets the kill on a couple of people. He gets the kill on Fiddlesticks, and yeah, that's almost a complete ace. Nasus is just kind of, playing ring around the rosy with the blue team right now, and looks like that's going to be an ace if Nasus cannot run away, which actually he's able to do.
Yeah, he was able to get away thanks to that ghost, and just him running away was actually quite good for the purple team, just due to the fact that it was able to stall.
Definitely. They now have their Caitlyn back up, they have Renekton back up, Fiddle's about to be up, and Ahri's about to be up, but they will sacrifice their middle tower, and they should be able to save that middle inhibitor. We will have to see. Yes, they will be able to save it. Nasus does pop his ultimate, so, not good right there, and he gets knocked up actually by that Nami, and Nami gets saved right there by Orianna.
And we see the purple team actually tried to make a surrender vote, yet it failed with the 1 to 4 votes. So one person may be trying to quit already.
Yep, and good thing for us, we cannot see who it was. Meantime, Riven goes in and just jumps in right there. She gets taunted by Ahri, and she will still survive somehow. Riven just barely survives, and blue team will lose their first tower down at, their tier 1 middle tower.
Riven has quite a huge shield once she dashes with her E, just due to the fact of how much AD she has. It's about a 400 damage shield.
That is very huge, and, Renekton now has another chain vest. I have no idea what this could be working towards. Again,
I think we'll see a no mantle. It'll probably be towards a GA, but outside of that, I really don't know.
He actually opts to go for the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. He doesn't go for Merc Treads or Ninja Tabby. He wants that CDR badly. He needs it.
Well, with that pickup, I think we may actually be seeing Thornmail.
Maybe. I mean, it will hurt Riven just slightly. It will hurt Jarvan as well as Lucian. The only AP for the blue team is going to be that Orianna. She only has about 300 AP. Versus what does Ahri have? Ahri almost has 200. So about 100 somewhat AP difference between both middles. That is huge.
Another possibility is that he just got the chain dust because he needs armor now, which he really does. The 80 damage coming from the blue team is just
It's
astonishing. Really, it's so much.
it's too strong.
Yeah.
Strong with a K, not with a G. Get it right,
It's stronger,
interwebs.
right?
Exactly. And this Riven just soaking up a lot of damage, soaks up the taunt from Ari right here. Meantime, nice ult right there by Jarvan does force Ari to use her ult defensively to get out of it. In the meantime, we have Riven ulting, getting the kill on Ari right there, also getting the kill on Renekton. Nice ult right there by Fiddlesticks, allowing him to do some damage. And Renekton will die right there. We got Orianna getting the kill on Nasus, and Jarvan getting the kill on Caitlyn. Only one left alive right now is that Fiddlesticks, and he will die to that Riven.
Yeah, and it looks like the blue team will be taking it. They do have minions coming from the mid lane as well.
Yeah, that's gonna be dead middle inhibitor, and
It may just be game here.
maybe. Although you gotta remember that several of them are very close to death, like that that Orianna's close to death, Nami's close to death. You know, Jarvan as well is pretty low on health, and if they get a bad engagement here, they can actually, get killed right here. Renekton gets a double kill right there on both Orianna and on Nami, and Renekton just going all for it, and he's going right for that Lucian, but dies to Lucian. Ari in the meantime gets the kill on Jarvan.
Riven was only able to stay alive from that Caitlyn ult just due to the fact of how much that shield is shielding for.
Yeah, actually, let's go ahead and see how much it does do. The shield is her Valor, and actually,
It's 400 just about exact.
yeah, that is just under 400. Wow.
And it's only a 3.6 cooldown.
Very easily spammable, and if she has any form of CDR, which, looking at her, she has no form of CDR unless it's... Actually, she has the Ionian Boots of Lucidity as well, so she has 15% CDR from that, and she also has the 10% CDR from Black Cleaver, so she's sitting at 25% without masteries or anything like that. So it's very nice. You know, it does help her immensely.
Yeah, and just another thing to point out is that Renekton did go ahead and get that Thornmail, but just CS wise, this Riven is dumpstering the purple team. Like, she is doing amazing this game.
She definitely is. Nasus, he doesn't have that much farm on his Q, it looks like. His Q has 87 stacks. That is not enough, by far.
Yeah, they've definitely be able to shut down his farming just because of how strong the blue team is playing.
Definitely, and looks like the blue team now is going right for that Baron, and they will be able to get it. And people in the chat, please do not spoil the games. That is not nice.
What they do?
They spoiled the ending of this game. Please do not do that. If you have people on your friends list that are, in this tournament, do not tell us if they won or lost, unless their game has already been finished for quite some time.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
rude.
Meantime, looks like this Lucian gets the kill on Ari right here, and Lucian does pop his ult, but he's not able to get the kill on anybody else. And Orianna gets the kill on Renekton. That's gonna be just a, complete wipe. And there's the GG coming out right there by Ari. Riven gets the kill onto Fiddlesticks, and yeah, surprised they're still going for the champions, not for the Nexus, but it's gonna die in about 5 seconds. And
To be honest, off of the Ari GGs from every time they tried to hit the Nexus, I'm gonna go ahead and say that Ari was the one who tried to start here a little while ago.
We don't know that, just leave it at that. Yeah. I don't even see it. Like, I'm actually looking at my list.
Number.
I'm looking at my friends list. I don't see you. Oh, there you go. Yes. Yes, that's perfect. There you go.
Hey!
We got the Graven! Ooh, 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 ooh. Come on, Barbie. Let's go party. Yes, I still have Aqua stuck in my head. I'm sorry. It's a very catchy jingle.
If you're going for catchy jingles, just listen to Big Bang Fantastic, baby. Let's go.
No. I thought I had the song. You've all heard it by now. It's I am Nigel or uh, drop it. Yeah.
Wait, are we actually linking good songs now? Really good.
No, we are actually going to be casting a game in a few minutes here once, all the players are ready.
We cast things here?
I think so. Last time I checked,
We're in a game?
yeah, last time I checked, that's what we do. I mean, this is to be expected from our first league tournament in, I don't know, months.
I thought this was Music Sessions 101.
No, then I would send you to, shameless promotion here, my brother's drumming website to teach you how to play drums.
Alright, just another thing. Let's go ahead and get back into the game. We have three bands now. We got Thresh and Vayne coming from our blue team, and Nala's band coming from our purple team. I really didn't expect to see a Nala's band due to the fact that he's fallen out of favor after like the past few patches.
This is true, and then we see the Kennen band just because, hey, it's Kennen, AP or AD Kennen still hurt.
Actually, if you looked at I'm not sure which player it was, but it was the top lane, I believe, from TSC. It was either their top lane or mid lane. If you looked at his past history, every game he had played Kennen.
Ooh, that's a big jab and a big meta change for him.
Yeah, that was definitely a target ban at him.
Yes. And, I mean, Thresh and Vayne, they're common, same thing with Blitzcrank, especially in the lower leagues. And now we see Singed. Wow. That is something.
Zenz is the king of trolls. I don't care who you are, how great you think you are. If you let a Zenz do anything in the game, except for being shut down, he's gonna troll you, and you're gonna get very angry. I can understand why they'd want to ban him.
Yes, and we see the Zac come out here by the blue team. And we see Ari and immediate almost Shen pick. Shen still being hesitated on. And we will have to see what happens. Shen actually does get locked in. So that's one nice global ultimate that the purple team does have.
Yeah, that Shen's gonna be very good because he's gonna be able to split push, and by the time someone comes up to like get on him, like the Ahri can dash in and Shen can just ult right onto her. It's almost as like a combination such as like a Neville and Shen. Plus, those two are very common picks, and they're both very strong in their own right.
Very true. Then we have the Sona pick and Varus. Very standard, very nice.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a very strong poke lane from their bot lane.
Yep, and then we see the Janna pick. If only they released the skin for Janna now, the Weather Girl skin for her. Oh my god, that would be hilarious. But yeah, actually they did nerf Shen slightly. His ultimate can be stopped now by rooting effects such as Twisted Advance from Maokai, and his feint absorbs less damage now.
Well, you can say they nerfed Shen because they did. Nothing nerfs global unless you just change it from being global, and that's the true power of Shen. Outside of course, his Q heals him, and he has a shield, which is pretty awesome for trading.
Yep. They did nerf, again, the damage his shield absorbs at max rank. The damage difference is 30 damage, so it's about half an auto attack. So, pretty big deal.
Oh, dude, if they lock in that Amumu, they will have
Amumu and Annie.
CC.
Amumu and Annie, that is a lot of AoE stun potential right there. If Annie gets a nice AoE ult off with that Tibbers and the stack of her Inflame, oh my god, or her Pyromania rather, that is just going to be deadly.
I have a feeling that Nerf Blue was the Kennen player just due to the fact of if they had Kennen in this comp instead of Annie, they would have so much CC from everyone's ult and so much AoE damage, it would be insane. So I'm gonna guess that Annie pick was supposed to be a Kennen pick, but due to the ban, he's not gonna be able to get it. And I'm gonna be looking to see if he's actually able to play her, like, confidently.
And very funny you should remember just a few minutes ago you said the player with the dwarf icon is probably the top.
Oh, did I pick the wrong team? Oh wait, no, it'd be the mid player, wouldn't it?
Actually, right now, he's the one with Varus.
Oh wow, really? I think we're gonna be seeing some.
We're definitely gonna be seeing some swaps right here. but the Nocturne pick last. Very, very good jungle champion right there. Although that's kind of like two jungles right there. Shen isn't that potent at the laning phase, but when it does come to, the whole, you know, team fight scenario, he's amazing just due to that taunt.
Actually, I have to disagree with you. I personally, I play Shin quite a bit, and I personally think that by the time he hits level 3, he's possibly the best trader in the game at top lane.
It could be. We'll have to
Just,
see.
just due to the fact of once he gets his passive up, he can throw a Q at you, put his shield on, taunt you, auto attack you, walk out.
Very, very true. I didn't even think about that.
And it's tons of burst damage. He has the shield. He gets the heal from the Q and the auto attack. It's very powerful.
We'll have to see how this affects everything, because this is going to be interesting to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like we'll be having the Shin top versus that Zac top, which is definitely fallen into favor lately. And a Amumu jungle versus a Nocturne jungle, which is actually pretty scary because Nocturne early game is decently strong.
He
And
is.
then,
I'm going to say this. He is to an extent just because of the fact that, he does have a pseudo fear. He has a pseudo. Well, he has a fear. He has a shield block. And he has a nice trail that he can lay down to give himself extra movement speed. If he blocks a spell, he gets increased attack speed. All of that's just deadly, especially in the early game.
And not only is Nocturne just generally decent in early game, but Amumu's W will activate Nocturne's spell shield, which will give him an attack speed just about guaranteed.
Definitely. I mean, even if he doesn't get the spell shield off on say Amumu's ult, he still has 4 other ults he can spell shield. He can go through Annie's ult, Sona's ult, Varus' ult, even Zac's ult can be spell shielded for 1 hit. That's all major. That he has multiple ways of getting his shield to proc and give him that extra attack speed. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. I think that was just a good pick in general with all of that AoE.
I think this heavy AoE CC comp was amazing with the Ahri pick, the Shin pick, and the Nocturne pick, just due to the fact they all get really close in range, and they're going to be stacked up on each other. You can just hit them all with a huge amount of CC.
Very, very true.
But even with just that, like the Caitlyn pick was just a great idea just because of the fact they're all going to dive in. The CC's probably going to be used on them. But Caitlyn is a very long-range AD carry. She's just going to stand back and she'll probably be able to dodge all the ults unless she's caught out of position. But even if she does get caught out of position, she's taking cleanse, which will be amazing for her against this team.
Definitely.
At least that is if the summoners are right.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Caitlyn can do to get out of harm's way, but if she gets focused by that Varus and Sona combo early, there's going to be hell for her to pay. Well, I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. There's going to be hell for her to get back into a good position to be viable in those team fights. Early game, she has to use her ultimate to get kills. Late game, she can use her ultimate to harass due to the cooldown of her ultimate. How different they are at those levels.
Yeah, definitely. Another interesting thing is, I picked up cleanse instead of ignite, which is due to the Annie stun, and I believe I want to say it's a 3-second stun because I know it's amazing stun.
Actually, if we click on Annie really quick, we should be able to. It's a second, almost 2-second stun that Annie can do.
Okay, so it's basically a 2-second stun, which
Yeah.
if Annie can just like pop her Tivers for a Tiver stun and get cleanse, that's gonna be amazing for Ahri because she's gonna dash in at her and burst her. But the only thing is she's gonna be doing a lot less damage because she's gonna be missing that ignite. It's gonna be really interesting to see what they do pre-6 and how low Ahri can get Annie, and then at level 6, who does get that kill? Because I'm going to be expecting a fight at level 6.
Yeah, the fight at level 6 is almost to be expected at this point. And we can see, the summoner spells were correct and everything else. They actually did change that a while back, so yeah. We see Varus having Flash and Barrier, Sona having Flash and, Exhaust. Then we see Annie having Flash Ignite. Zac has Flash Ignite. Amumu has Flash Smite. Ahri Flash Cleanse, as you said. Shen has Teleport Flash. Caitlyn Cleanse and Cleanse and Flash. Janna having Flash and Exhaust. And then Nocturne having Flash and Smite. Pretty much almost even all across the board, except for the barrier on that Varus.
That's an interesting pickup to me from Shin. I see a lot of people do it, and I've always disagreed with it. They take TP on Shin, and the reason is they can teleport to like a teammate, and then they can TP back to lane. But every time someone says that to me, I just go, well, you're losing all the lane power that you have.
Well, as a player that's done that with Shen having Flash and Teleport, I usually do that just for the fact of, hey, if, I'm forced out of my lane or I die or whatever, I can instantly teleport back as soon as I'm up, and then I have the ult whenever I need it, because I can't teleport to myself and teleport myself, or yeah. I can't ult myself and ult myself back up to the top lane. That's the biggest thing. And then, say you go ahead and get, 4 people killed and the last person's, running back to base. If you want to go ahead and split push, you actually can with that teleport. So...
My only thing is, Shen has a very powerful early game, as I was saying earlier. And if you take Ignite, it's very common for your opponent laner to take a teleport due to the fact that you're playing against a Shen, and he's going to be split pushing. But if they take that teleport, you're ahead because of that Ignite. But if they don't, then you're even with them, and then you're no longer weaker. If you take the TP, you are now weakening your early game, which is really important against Shin, because if he's able to just duel just about anyone, they may be forced to send 2 people up top, up to defend your split pushing, which just makes you even better.
Very, very true. And it looks like we had a minor internet issue between some of the players, and game's going to be on pause in just a few seconds here. And remember, guys, this is the semifinals, so next game we cast will be the finals, and it will be a best-of-3 series. So it's no longer the best-of-1s that we have been, seeing tonight. It is that best-of-3 to where, it can come down to that third and final game.
Wait, it's a best-of-3? No one told me this. I'm out of here. Peace.
Yeah, get back here, you scrub.
You find that funny, but when I disappear...
It's okay. It's okay. Just as a little boast about myself, I did a 9-hour tournament solo. It's fine.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so there's nothing I can't handle.
Hey, I'm just saying, I can look at a screen for hours and hours and go, yeah, they're doing stuff. They call it casting too. Oh,
yeah.
Shots fired. Just joking.
Alright, so yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I mean, the Varus and Sona combo is very, very, very standard. It's potent, it's strong, it's deadly more to the point, and it's hard to deal with. You have the heal from Sona, you have the increased damage from Sona, you have the poke from Sona as well. Everything that Sona can do just helps everything that Varus has in his kit.
Yeah, it's definitely a very standard lane, but on the other hand, we also have a Caitlyn Janna lane, which is just a standard. And to be honest, early game, Caitlyn's fighting potential with Janna is much higher than Sona Varus will be. But the main thing is if they decide to not fight early, you're going to want to just try to outlast Varus' mana. Because Varus, if he uses his abilities a lot, he can go pretty fast. Very
true. And, Janna has that shield that she can put on Caitlyn at any given point in time. So it's not, it's not like they're not evenly matched. It's just Sona has a heal, Janna doesn't until level 6.
Yeah, that's very true. But on the other hand, we do see a lane swap coming out of the purple team where they're sending their bot lane up top. Some people like to watch the LCS, but back to what I was saying, while a lot of people say Janna doesn't have a heal, her shield is just as good as a heal, just due to the fact that if she plays it right, she can put it on before you take damage. It might as well be a heal.
Very true. Not only that, but she can shield the turrets. That is also something that not any other champion can do. She can shield the turrets, and nobody can heal turrets, so yeah. It looks like
Does the shield stop damage? I thought it just gave it the AD boost.
No, it does stop damage. It's, it absorbs all the damage that it can, and then it's gone, just like it normally would be. Yeah.
More I know.
That is very nice, and it looks like Annie's DCing, so, yeah, we got a pause going on here. By the way, guys, again, I know we keep on plugging this, but follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitch, follow us on YouTube, follow us, on Facebook. We have all these different social medias that we let you know, hey, something's going on here. We're trying to get VODs up from the turns we cast as often as we possibly can.
Hey, will this be being posted up on our YouTube channel, or is that just for StarCraft?
It should be. I'm going to raise health. This is not on our YouTube channel.
So it's guaranteed to be up there, because no one can stop you when you're angry.
Pretty much.
Just gotta watch all your race videos and find that out.
Yes. And
that's plugging, by the way.
Coins, one giveaway did happen, another giveaway I believe is going to happen. I cannot guarantee that though, have to hear back from other mods.
Wait, what did we give away?
A $10 RP card.
Oh snap, man, really wish I wasn't a mod right now.
Yep. So, it looks like we're gonna... No, Coins, you didn't, I think. But yeah, Anyway, the Janna and Caitlyn combo is going to be tough for Zach to deal with. They will take that tower out early, just so that way they can get that extra gold early on. Especially with the Nocturne here now, it's going to make it, a whole lot harder for Zach to hold that tower for, quite some time.
Yeah, this is definitely a very powerful comp just for this style of play. Because Caitlyn being so long in range, and John has a very long range as well, they can take that tower down way faster while being in any danger of the solo laner just jumping on him.
Very.
Barris and Zone are very slow at pushing right now. To be honest, I don't think they're very used to this.
No, they're not, and Zach is gonna have to go ahead and forfeit that tower, which he does. Nocturne does take a few tower hits, but it's all good because they were able to get that early tower kill, and that just puts them at 1,000 gold advantage this early.
Shin taunts Mumu at bot lane, forcing a flash out of him.
And Kate, go ahead, yeah.
Oh, okay. Which I really thought he should have done much faster, due to the fact that when he did it, nothing had changed from a few seconds ago. He just gave away free damage on his tower. It would have been much better. Not only that, but Caitlyn and Janna are starting to come down bot lane, which will work in their favor due to the fact of if you're gonna lane swap, whoever does it first, it's always in their favor. Definitely,
and yeah, Janna and Janna and Sona are close. There's a 1 CS difference between them. There's a 1 CS difference between the ADCs. That's the biggest thing. Yes, Purple Team has 800 gold advantage, but when your ADCs are just about even on, last hits, it's almost nullified to that point. And this Annie's about to take out this Ahri, and Ahri barely escapes with about 40 to 50 health. So nice play by Ahri right there, just getting out of the way of that Annie burst.
Well, it was a nice play by Annie right there. Ahri did have to use her flash, which means that she's gonna be able to be ganked. But on the other hand, Annie also used it, and just a little bit before, Annie used her ignite while Ahri's cleanse is still up. So at the level 6 battle, Ahri will be much more potent than Annie will, just due to the fact that she will have that summoner up.
Very, very true indeed. And I mean, it looks like right now the lanes have kind of stabilized. Shen is up top. He's doing as much CS as possible. He has some AP that will affect his shield, that will affect his taunt, that will affect everything he has. So, yeah, it's definitely nice.
I'm actually a little bit surprised by how little of AP he actually has, because when I play Shen, I like to go hybrid Reds and AP Quints, just due to the fact that it makes you so much more potent early in lane.
Very true. I mean, AP health is always nice on Shen. You kind of almost want to play him like you would a Vladimir. But you have a taunt, and you don't sacrifice health for anything.
Yeah, definitely. Shen is a much stronger laner than a lot of people give him credit for. I still like to say that he's my favorite laner. Just laning phase, I think he's the strongest.
I will not deny that. That is definitely truth behind, there's truth behind that. I mean, Shen's potent. He's got his Vorpal Blade that can heal him. He's got his shield. He's got a dash to get out of trouble. There's a lot of things he can do to get out of harm's way if need be and not take damage.
Yeah, if you oh wait, mid lane, we had a Timbers being used on Ahri, but Ahri didn't use her ult, I don't believe. Yeah, her ult's still up, but she did get chunked down big time.
She did, and Nocturne now's bottom. He's forcing this tower to, probably take some damage here by, both Janna and Caitlyn. Caitlyn will take some damage, but nothing that she won't be able to heal through, and she does do damage to Sona at the same time. And we see a Mumu down here now, just trying to maybe see if he can get a lane gank going or just stop Nocturne from being there.
And he is a level behind Nocturne. Nocturne right now should be stealing the Wraith, but he's gonna go ahead and start the blue and give it to Ahri, so that way it'll be up faster. That's completely understandable. But while Nocturne's been very helpful with the Janna Caitlyn lane, just wherever they are, he's not doing anything to hurt Amumu, and that's not going to be good later in the game.
Very true. And, we can see right now that, the CS, there is a difference between Nocturne and Amumu, but it's very, very slight. Amumu has his Spirit Stone. He doesn't have anything else besides that and potions. Nocturne has his boots. He has his longsword and his Spirit Stone as well. Nocturne is going to be going for the Outer Lizard, or... yeah, I keep on forgetting the name of it. It's Spirit of the Outer Lizard. Yeah, he's going to be going for that, and that'll just give him way more damage potential than people actually realize, because it's true damage.
Yeah, Spirit of the Elder Lizard, very common on Nocturnes, but so is Golem. But due to the fact that they have that Shin, and the Shin ult will be used on Nocturne from whenever he wants to dive, that's going to be their hard initiation, by the way. But just because of that shield, he's going to be able to build a little bit damage early on, rather than going the tanky route with Spirit of the Ancient Golem.
Yeah, and as you said, Nocturne will be their hard initiate. He will ult, dash in onto somebody like, say, Caitlyn, and, he'll get ulted by Shen pretty much immediately as Nocturne's being, as he's, rushing himself towards Caitlyn, or towards Varus, rather.
Yeah, personally, I think the moment you hear that darkness, Shen will start ulting.
Pretty much, yes. And in the meantime, it looks like Mumu has to pop his ultimate here to save himself from that Nocturne. And Nocturne actually taking first blood right there onto Amumu. And Zac gets Zac gets a kill on Shen. And Annie gets killed right here by Ahri. And that Zac is in deep trouble now. And he will go ahead and get out of the way.
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and get out of there. But even if Ahri was able to kill her, he probably would have just been able to be fine just due to the fact that he has passive. But while that was going on, bot lane was able to take the bot tower.
Very true. And now Ahri's going to go ahead and push the middle here. And she's going to go ahead and, do a big chunk of damage to that tower. In the meantime, both Varus and Sona are pushing down that tier 2 tower.
And both of the global ults from Nocturne and Shen are both down. That's why they're able to. That's why they're so confident of just pushing that far up. But they know by this time Shen or Nocturne could be at where they are. Of course, Nocturne is over by top, and Shen is there. But of course, they don't know that. But they could be there, so they just backed off.
Very true. The blue team knows where Nocturne is, and they're trying to chase him right now. But he will get out of the way due to his, shadow trail. Due to Dustbringer, he will be able to get away. Very good play by him.
Yeah, Dustbringer does allow Nocturne so much mobility. Even if he does get hit by Zac's knockup, though, he can always just spell shield it and he'll be fine.
Very, very true. And this is one of those scenarios where you definitely have to shut a few people down early game, otherwise they will start to steamroll. Like, you have to get that Caitlyn down early. You have to get that, that Nocturne down early. You cannot let Caitlyn get enough damage, potential out. You can't let Nocturne get that tankiness out that he will eventually get. Otherwise, you're gonna just be in a world of hurt.
Yeah, definitely. But on the other hand, you can also say that about the other team. You can't let that Varus get fed, because if that Varus gets fed, he's gonna rip him apart with that because of his W doing 5% true health. Well, whatever percentage it does. It does true damage, depending on your health, isn't it?
Yes, I believe it's actually your maximum health.
It's magic damage. Yeah, it's a percent of your maximum health, and that allows him to crush tanks very well. That Shin missed that taunt on that Varus though. That was huge.
Yes, it is, and in the meantime, Nocturne right here is going to go ahead and die right here. It's that, that's that Zac in the middle, and yeah, it looks like it's just Nocturne that's gonna die. Caitlyn, Janna get away just barely though. Same thing with Varus. Well, same thing with Sona and Varus right now trying to do some sort of damage to that Shen.
This is being played very, very sloppy by the purple team. That Shin chased way too long on that Sona. If he had just turned back on the Varus, he could have got a taunt off, or he could have just done damage to him. It would have been able to get the kill, while Caitlyn and Janna would have been able to assist. But due to that, he wasn't able to get any kills. That Ahri had to waste her ult to live, and the blue team did get Dragon off of it.
But at the same time, Ahri did go ahead and take that middle tower, so that's kind of, the difference is nullified as far as gold goes. The purple team is still ahead on gold by about roughly 2,000, but, as far as kills go, they are dead even.
Yeah, definitely, but while Dragon gets a little bit more gold, the middle tower that Ahri was able to take gives the purple team, so much more map control. It's actually a little bit in their favor. The only difference is that Dragon is a dragon and it will respawn and that tower won't. But to be able to get a dragon is always a very helpful thing.
Very true. I believe the dragon gives, I think, maybe like a 40 gold difference between a tower and it. So
yeah, I believe it's 200 gold in total.
Yeah, it works out to something like that, to where Dragon is a little more beneficial, but you still want that map control of taking out the towers as well. And I mean, if we look at the, gold differences right now, it's about 100 between the tops in favor of the purple team. It's about close to 1,000 in favor of Nocturne, actually, versus that of Mumu. Between the middles, it's about roughly 700 in favor of Ahri. It is roughly 400 in favor of Caitlyn between the ADCs, and between the supports, it doesn't really matter. It's about 200 gold difference.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out the item difference between Caitlyn and Varus. Varus decided to go for 2 Doran's Blades, and Caitlyn only got 1. And she now has her BF sword, but she only has level 1 boots. But Varus has his T2 boots, which gives him his, 25%? 20% attack speed.
Yes, Nocturne right there initiates rounds that Varus. Varus will be able to survive just barely, though, even after Ahri's chasing right on top of him. And Ahri will go ahead and die here just barely to Annie. And nice ult right there by Mumu, catching several people on that. Annie gets the kill on Shen as well. And that Janna is in deep trouble right now. She has to run for her life, and she's dead by that Sona.
Yeah, just right there, that was sad to watch, just due to the fact, while Mumu played amazing, he got a 4-person ult right there. Shin taunted, then flash. If he had done it the other way around, he would have caught 2 people in a taunt. Not only that, but Janna waited so long to cast her ult, even though she got a Mumu snared, which is, I believe it's a snare, right?
It's technically a stun.
Is this a stun? Because I always thought you could cast spells in it.
No, it's a stun, but while you were talking about that, Zac went ahead and got the kill onto Caitlyn, so that was pretty despicable.
And it looks like they're going to get 2 towers off of this fight, which is going to be very good for them. Blue team is now in the lead in gold-wise.
Yes, and this is a close game. It's, 6-2, but, gold differences, there's about 500 gold difference. That is not, no, I'm sorry, there's about 1,100, and that's a tower dragon. That's just some CS difference. That's not a huge deal. Speaking of CS, it's a little in favor of Shen right now versus Shen and Zac. It's in favor of Nocturne, but that's to be expected between the jungles. Between the mids, it's in favor of Ahri. Between the ADCs, it's in favor of Varus. That is the key difference right there. Varus will make and break the team fights with his ultimate as well. A Mumu into Varus ultimate is deadly as well. That is a lot of magical damage that they aren't prepared for.
Not only is the Mumu into Varus ultimate amazing, the Mumu ultimate into the Annie ultimate into the Crescendo into the Varus ultimate into the Let's Bounce. All of their ults combo so well together. This team comp is very powerful coming out of the blue team.
It is, but the second you shut one of them down, that combo goes bye-bye. You shut down the Crescendo, there's a big, there's a team stun right there, gone. You shut down, say a Mumu, which I know that's harder to do than, say, shutting down Sona, but if you shut a Mumu down, that's a bigger AoE ult you just shut down, and that gives you a lot more room to spread out and still not get caught by something.
I'm actually gonna have to disagree with you, just due to the fact of if you shut down the Sona, you do miss out on the Crescendo. The only problem is you still have the Tibber stun, the Varus ult, the Let's Bounce, and the Mumu. Like, if you can shut down 2 or 3 of them, that would be pretty big. But on the other hand, they all have an ult, which brings so much CC.
Very true, and Sona actually doing a little bit of damage over here to, doing a little damage to Shen, but not a huge lot. And it looks like right now, the purple team going ahead and putting pressure onto that T2 tower of the blue team in the middle. Very, very smart for them to do, and they want to take that tower out to just be even on towers. Or be ahead on towers again, because right now they're actually even. And you definitely always want to be ahead. It's one of those things, if you can get ahead, and then stay ahead. And that was an ultimate by Annie that I think was just misused. She no longer has that AoE stun, or the biggest AoE stun she has available to her. And it's, I don't know, if you kill Tibbers, it's a good chunk of gold, and almost guaranteed they'll be able to kill Tibbers.
I believe it's 75 gold for the Tibber stun, but for the Tibbers. But
it's 50.
Is it 50? Okay.
Yes.
But on the other hand, Shin up top is dueling it out with that Zac while you're split pushing. Zac did have to go and defend it. Shin is up, so if the purple team decides to fight, it will be a 4v5 right now unless Zac can stop it, which Zac has many moves to be able to stop it.
Yes, and nice ult right there by Sona, saving herself for just a bit. And then Annie gets in the way of the Caitlyn ult and saves Sona for just a little bit longer, and Ahri gets the kill on Sona. Annie gets the kill onto Ahri. Wow, Shen ults in here and gets the kill on Varus. And now Mumu's now in hot water, and he's trying to run away from a 4v1 fight.
Oh, and he got hit by the Nocturne Q. He's gonna be able to get chased down.
Yeah, and Zac comes in here, and Zac is trying to slow everybody down. He actually manages it, he's able to do so. And then Annie comes in here, she's trying to get some damage onto somebody and not die. And she's being chased right now by Nocturne. Nocturne just going balls to the wall. Nocturne might die here. Nocturne might die, and he dies to Annie.
Oh, double taunt by Shin, though.
Caitlyn gets the kill on Annie after that. After Annie gets the kill onto Nocturne, that Zac gets the kill onto Janna, and now Janna's in a, she's in a little bit of a predicament here with Shen. Same thing with Caitlyn.
And Varus and Sona are both up now, so they are full power. They can't do this dragon. They gotta back off.
Yes,
this dragon should be going to blue team.
Yep, and I'm sorry, I misspoke. Janna is actually dead. I didn't realize she died in that team fight, even though I probably said she did. So
yeah, I think you were mistaking Caitlyn with Janna.
Yeah, I was. My bad. But yeah, it looks like actually the purple team is trying to, contest the dragon, but they're not able to. And the gold is, the gold favor is still in favor of the blue team, just barely though. About 1.5k, it's a big chunk, but realistically it comes down to the team kills. It's 9-5, very, very close. Both teams have good team fight potential. The blue team has to have that sweet combo going of the ults being chained together, whereas, the purple team has to wait for that hard Nocturne or the Shen initiation, and then they can go in and do all of their damage.
Yeah, that definitely could have gone much better for the blue team too. What happened in that fight was, as we were talking about, they were able to force out 3 ults before the fight. Tiber's stun went down, the Crescendo went down, and even the Varus ult went off just to kill the Ahri by herself. It could have been so much better had they just saved their ults better.
Very, very true. And now, speaking of Varus, he's actually coming in here to middle to go ahead and get some more CS and still be on par with Caitlyn. And speaking of Caitlyn now, Caitlyn has a Bloodthirster, she also has a Zeal. Varus has a BF Sword, Vamp Scepter, Double Doran's Blade, and his, Berserker Greaves. Apparently Annie's lagging again, and just a general pause. So, yeah, just looking at the items in general, we got Zach already having his Merc Shreds. He has them with, I believe, Home Guard. Yes, he has them with Home Guard. He has his Sunfire Cape, and he has a Kindle Gem. Versus the Spirit Visage of Shen, and it looks like he's building into a, I want to say, building into the Sunfire Cape as well. Between Amumu and Nocturne, Amumu has the Spirit Guard versus the Spirit Guard now of, or Spirit of the Ancient Golem. On Nocturne, he didn't go for that Spirit of the Outer Lizard. He actually did go for the Ancient Golem. Nocturne has the items of what it looks like in the mix for, I'm going to assume, maybe a Brutalizer and Merc Treads? Or maybe he's going to go for the, God, why can't I remember the name of it?
I think it's gonna be Merc Treads, and I want to say Locket of Iron Solari, but I don't know. That longsword's really throwing me off.
Yeah, it's doing the same to me. Then we've got Ari, who has the Abyssal Scepter. She has her Sorcerer's Shoes, Double Doran's Ring, and she has her Crystalline Flask. Versus the, Rod of Ages by Annie, the needlessly large rod, and Merc Treads, and Double Doran's Rings that Annie has. We already spoke about Varus and Caitlyn, and now Janna and Sona. Sona has her Ruby Sightstone, she has a Kindle Gem, she has Philosopher's Stone, boots, and a few extra wards. Janna has just a regular Sightstone, she has her Philosopher's Stone and boots.
Just to go back to that Nocturne, those items were for the Iron Solari. That longsword was actually from the beginning, if you remember it, when it looked like he was going for Spirit of Elder Lizard. He decided to go for Ancient Golem, deciding his team needed more tankiness, which in all honesty, it looked like they did.
Yeah, and it looks like that's working in their favor right now.
Definitely. Now, another thing is that Varus picked up Home Guard very early, especially for an AD carry. This is around the time you'd see it for a top laner or a jungler, but you would never see a Home Guards on AD carry this fast. He picked it up due to that very long fight just a little bit ago. He thought he was able to get there fast enough, which he wasn't. He wasn't able to catch anyone, and that definitely put him behind a lot more gold than he was want to be.
Definitely, and you have to look at the good and the bad. He needs the tank. Nocturne needs the tankiness because Shen isn't enough versus Amumu, who's naturally tanky, and Zac, who's naturally tanky.
Yeah, but not only that, the main thing is all the AoE things that the other team is applying. Him being melee, he's going to most likely get caught in it. So he's gonna need he's gonna need to be able to weather that storm. Exactly,
and now we see Shen going ahead and doing that split push we were talking about that he can do. He did use teleport, I believe, to get down to bottom. And it looks like Annie and Varus now are heading down to bottom to go ahead and try and stop him.
Actually, his teleport is still up.
Oh, for some reason, no, it's not. It's on
really?
cooldown.
Mine's glitching.
Yeah.
Mine must be glitching then.
His flash is still up, but his teleport isn't. He has no teleport. Meantime, Nocturne goes ahead and dives around underneath the tower here and gets the kill on Amumu. Janna gets a nice knock-up onto Sona and allows Ari to go ahead and get the kill. And that Nocturne's trying to run away here and gets caught right there by Annie stun. Annie gets the kill on Nocturne, and this Ari goes ahead and gets killed by Varus. Zac gets the kill on Janna, and that is a dead Shen if I've ever seen one. Shen will go ahead and die here. Nice knock-up right there by that Zac, allowing Varus to go ahead and get the kill.
That knock-up actually made Varus miss his ult, and just from when I play Varus, well, I'm always like, alright, cool, we killed the guy anyways.
Yeah.
So like, damn you, I really wanted to hit that arrow.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things you have to take into consideration. Like, oh, hey, my teammate has this, and then you almost have to preemptively cast it where you know they're going to get knocked up to.
Yeah.
It's one of those situational type things.
It's definitely one of those things where you're like, even in the end, it all worked out, you're happy. But
exactly.
On the inside, you're like, I want you to die.
Yeah, and now the goal difference is still 1.5k in the favor of the blue team, and the kill difference is now, it's almost double the, blue team almost has double the kills that the purple team has.
The damage coming from both of these teams is very even. The Shen and Nocturne, like, they're just about the same as Amumu and Zac. they just put out just a little bit damage, but Amumu and Zac will be a little bit more tanky. Then mid lane you have a person that can assassinate another person very easily, and then bot lane you have a ton of damage coming from your AD carries. The only difference is Janna is a disengaged support, while Sona is a hard engaged support, and that could easily turn the fight for either way.
Exactly, and if, say, Sona gets that beautiful, beautiful ultimate that we know that she wants, gets the crescendo on all 5 of them in a line where they're clumped up or something, that's almost insta GG right there. That's going to be a complete wipe for the entirety of the purple team.
Yeah, definitely. But on the other hand, say they blow 2 ults right away, and Janna doesn't get hit, just monsoons them away, and that can easily turn the fight just the other way. This is definitely a game that anyone can take right now.
Exactly, and there's certain benefits I would say to having Janna versus Sona. Sona does provide extra damage to the entire team, and actually it looks like Varus goes and gets the kill on the tower, Zac gets the kill on Ahri, and Caitlyn gets the kill on Sona, so that's dead support and mid for both, respectively, and that's Janna right there gets her ult off, but not able to actually save anybody, and that Nocturne gets away with just under 100, or just over 100 health rather, and they will sacrifice the middle inhibitor for this.
Yeah, this is another thing to know is, Nocturne is just picking up his T2 boots, and Shin doesn't have his T2 boots yet, which for melee champions is really something you tend to get a lot earlier, and they can just be guided so hard by this Varus.
Yeah, and speaking of Varus, actually, he now has his Bloodthirster, he has his Zeal as well, and we see pretty much the identical item build coming up from both ADCs, Bloodthirster, Zeal, into Phantom Dancer. And I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe Blade of the Rune King or Infinity Edge coming out from the ADCs after they both get their Phantom Dancers.
I think we'll be seeing Last Whisperers, to be honest, after their Phantom Dancers, just because the tanky frontline comes from both teams.
And right there, that's something that the purple team needed. They went ahead and got Dragon, and now they're about 700 gold behind instead of 1.5k. That's a big change up. Yeah, they're not really getting good engagements, but if they can get, stay on even footing with the gold, the engagements will come. They just have to have the better placement and better ult usage than the blue team does.
Yeah, but had the purple team had ward coverage, they would have been able to see that, hey, they're all backing, we can take Baron right here. That just goes to show how important wards are. Because of the fact that they don't have ward coverage, and anywhere on the map right now, they weren't able to take Baron, but they did take Dragon. And had the blue team known, I think the blue team could have actually taken Baron right there.
This is true, and just looking at the purple team's vision, they see Baron, and that's really it. They only see where their minions are. The blue team, they see Baron, they see top, obviously, because their minions are there, and then they see the middle. They see the middle inhibitor. That's a huge deal because they have wards and traps placed there. And they, only also see where their minions are. But the ward placement will actually tell a big story in this game. I understand, hey, ward clearing is a thing, and they did change it to where person who sees the ward and person who destroys the ward both get a cut of the gold that the ward is generally worth. And it looks like this Shen right here is taking some damage here from Zac, and Sona is in here to help. But yeah, back to the wards really quick. Purple team has to get some wards placed down other than at Baron. They need wards right over here near the purple team's blue, or blue team's blue, or the red of the blue team, something like that. Something of just a little more map vision than the minions.
I would like to go ahead and point out the fact that Ahri rushed an Abyssal Scepter, I believe, which is very it's not unheard of, but it's not the common build that most people go for Ahri, because they like to go the very assassin build. But go ahead and commentate
There's just a lot of ults being used right here. Nocturne gets caught out here, but he's actually going right back in. Shen goes in as well, and we're going to see an ult here from Zac if he didn't already use it. Varus gets a kill on to Shen right here, and he also gets a kill on to Nocturne. And I think that's going to be it for this. There was a lot of ultimates used. Zac gets killed right there by Caitlyn at the very, very end. And Varus right now gets a kill right there with his arrow onto that Janna.
That's beautiful. But yeah, I think my cooldowns are bugging out for my thing too because I don't see anyone having their cooldowns right now.
Yeah, you're bugged out, man.
Yeah, dude, League Client OP, man.
Totally,
Oh,
it's not a
because
W air.
Caitlyn's gonna get this Baron.
Caitlyn
But
gets
she
Varus,
does go
but
down.
yeah, Annie gets the kill. So even trade right there, although you definitely don't want Caitlyn to get further ahead than Varus as far as the gold goes. And in the meantime, the blue team's minions are, at the door of the Nexus. They're working on those towers. So that's
Alright.
very good for the blue team.
Alright, now back to what I was saying about Ari. Like, it's very common. Like, you can, like, a lot of people like to do it, like an Abyssal Scepter Rush, but if she had gone a DFG Rush, she would have been so much more powerful, because that would have given her assassination powers by a lot more. And she still hasn't got it yet. And that's definitely playing a part to them not winning as much as they should in their team fights.
Very true. And going to the ADCs real quick, we are actually going to be seeing a Last Whisper out of both. You were correct on that one.
Boom, I know my ADCs!
And it looks like the blue team here is posturing to fight around Baron, and they will try and, chase the purple team just a little bit, and they will do just some minor damage, not a huge amount, just a very, very minor amount. And they're going to start focusing on this middle inhibitor yet again, because it did just respawn. So this last wave of minions that spawned will be the last one they have for some time with the Mega Creep. And, well, it's going to be the last one until they kill this inhibitor yet again.
And I think they're just gonna be able to walk right in, manpower it.
Yeah, their blue team's not even getting, they're not going up against any sort of engagement right there. They were just given that inhibitor yet again.
Go ahead.
That's just something you don't want to do. You should have, I understand the purple team's a little, wary about engaging, but you have to engage on something like that. I understand, hey, whatever, you can go ahead and push that lane, it's the easiest lane to push, but you still want to try and save it if you can. Looks like they can try and save this T2 top tower, though.
Yeah, and this is a terrible place for the purple team to fight. I think if they were gonna make their last stand, which basically this next fight should be their last stand, depending on how it goes, it should have been at that inhib. But fighting under that tower, for them, it's not going to go well. They're just going to be CC'd in that tight area, and I think that was definitely a misplay by them. They should have fought right there.
Definitely, and right now the blue team is just posturing near the purple team's red. The purple team knows something's going on, so they're not pushing out far at all. In fact, they aren't even going anywhere near there. The blue team now is on the move.
I personally think that blue team should be doing what they're doing right now, and they should go for Baron, because the super creeps are going to push up mid. They should just stall at Baron, but it looks like the purple team's actually just going to allow them to take it.
Purple team's actually coming in here. They can try and maybe snipe it, or at least do it some sort of damage, and maybe hope Baron gets one of them killed. And Caitlyn right now actually was able to get a couple of shots off on, I believe it was, onto one of them, and Varus gets the kill on Baron. Right there's the ult right there by Caitlyn, and Sona gets the kill on Nocturne. Nocturne with a hard initiate, but nobody's there to help him.
I would just like to say that both the junglers should be a little sad because they both missed Smite.
No, Mumu actually did use his smite.
He used it, but he didn't get this final kill, so that's a missed Smite in my book.
Very true. And the purple team now has to go ahead and deal with a blue team that has Baron buff, and they're one member down because their Nocturne's still not up. And if Nocturne does get up, when he does get up, he doesn't have his ultimate for another, I want to say, 60 seconds or so. And that shield from Janna will slow them down for just a second or two, but that tower's still going to go down, the inhibitor's going to go down, and the purple team's, they're up against a rock and a hard place at this point. Yeah, they have to pull something out here, otherwise it's going to be a disaster for them.
With two inhibs down and the blue team has Baron, the blue team's just gonna siege bot lane. They're gonna force to put someone up top to defend against the minions, at least one person, and it's not looking good. Like they're gonna get engaged on with a 5-man Baron team. Get more. Of course, Shin can TP in, but still, let's not look good. There you go.
In the meantime, the crescendo comes in here from Sona, and same thing with the ult right there from Amumu, and Ari gets the kill on Shen almost instantly. Zac gets the kill on John, and that's pretty much game right there. That is two very vital people for the purple team gone, and nobody on the blue team's dead. Looks like that Caitlyn's gonna be next if she's not lucky, which she actually is. No, she's not. She actually gets killed right there by Varus at the last second. Nocturne gets the kill onto Varus, and that is just very, very brutal. One person dies from the blue team, 3 for the purple. The blue team now has free reign. They have mega creep or mega minions from all 3 sides. They're gonna go ahead and take out these Nexus towers and go ahead and just win. They may be able to get another kill or 2 underneath those towers, but that's really it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the purple team may be able to hold on just due to the fact that Varus is down, but I just looked at Annie's AP. She's gonna be able to take those towers down just as fast, and it's not looking good for them. It looks like it's game.
Yeah, in the meantime, that Zac does die, but you gotta remember, he does still have his passive. That Sona flashing in and actually gets killed right there by Ari, but that's the last kill of the game. GG right here for the purple team, and blue team goes on to the finals. Got Xerath, Janna. We also have Lucian, Jarvan, and Volibear for IGB, and then for YOLO Swag we have Varus, Sona, Nautilus, Tryndamere, and Annie. Just gonna go out on a limb here and say both teams won hard engagements. Between Jarvan and Volibear, 2 hard engagement champions. You got Varus who can stand back and poke, same thing with Lucian. Then you have Nautilus who can, well, he's almost pretty much the hard initiate. And then Tryndamere who will go in and, you know, get to the 1 health, pop his ult, and just go, you can't kill me.
And Tryndamere's just gonna go ham.
Pretty much, he's gonna take a lick on some bricks and go ham on it.
On the other hand, is that a Jesse Cox reference?
Yes.
On the other hand, the purple team is winning the skin battle.
Very true.
You never know.
Arclight Varus, Astro Nautilus, Highlander Tryndamere, and Frank and Tibber's Annie.
Which is the best skin.
Versus
At least in this.
Versus Victorious Janna, Ruin God Volibear, and Scorched Earth Xerath. Yeah. Since they have, you know, purple team has Highlander, they auto win because there can only be one. Just saying.
Oh man, it's silly fun.
Just saying, there can only be one.
Oh, that was terrible.
The Highlanders are a big cult. Yeah, I'll stop now. But yeah, they have an astronaut, they have a Highlander, and they have a Frankenstein. Yeah, I think I'll give it to them as far as the edge.
On the other hand, they got much colorful borders. Much more colorful borders.
True. Very, very true.
I may have just started to try to buy things because I forgot I was casting without playing.
Damn noob caster!
Told you, man, I was a sub.
And really, we're paused 15 seconds in.
Well, speaking of sub, you can just go ahead and sub YouTube. Go ahead and give everything a shout out.
Yes, sub to us on YouTube, sub to us on Twitter, sub to us on Twitch, sub to us on Facebook, sub to us on subbing to us. Make a second account and sub to us.
And just to make sure, what would our YouTube be?
YouTube.com/INFgaming. Let me double check on that one because I actually cannot remember the last little bit. But
I believe it is Infinity Game. I believe it's INF Gaming 2012 is the YouTube channel name.
You are absolutely correct, sir.
What up?
Go to there, sub to us there. We put our tournaments up there. If you miss the VODs, if you miss the tournament, we are almost guaranteed to put the games up on the YouTube channel. Thank you, Waffles. We are posting a lot of stuff there all the time.
And while you're at it, if you enjoy what we do, if you want to come have fun with everyone else, just go to that link I linked.
Yes, go to...
check us out at infinitygaming.net.
Yep, infgaming.net's where you can go to chat with us, post in our, post in our forums, see what we like, see if we got any tournaments coming up. You can check Z33K out as well if you want to see if we got any tournaments going on. And yeah, we've got just a whole bunch of stuff if you like the league tournaments. Aside from the downtime, aside from the crappy music, all that stuff, if you like the production, everything else, follow us. We'll let you know when we're doing something like this.
And even if you, like, say you ain't huge in StarCraft, which is what we mainly do, as you see, we are building our League of Legends thing, and it's just about to start popping off. Come join us. It's gonna get really fun soon.
Very true. And and if you like myself, Shadows while I'm casting, sub to me on my own personal YouTube channel where I actually do casts every once in a while. I cast League, I cast Dota 2, I cast StarCraft 2 from time to time. I do almost everything. Yes, I actually badly cast StarCraft 2, but I still cast.
To be honest, I think your StarCraft 2 casts are my favorite, just due to the fact that you're not 100% confident in what you're doing.
And speaking of 100% confident in what they're doing, this Volibear is definitely 100% confident in what he's doing. He goes in and goes around to that Tryndamere.
He's gonna have to back, too. I would have liked to see a level 1 dive coming out of Volibear just because, yellow.
Yeah, and, I mean, let's be honest here. This Volibear who's top is... Wait, is Volibear top? Yeah, he's top. I don't know why he was... why I thought he was jungle, when he's obviously not.
Yep. Bleebonks is the ribbon that we saw just a little bit ago. And
yes.
It seems like he's been stomping today. I'm very interested in seeing what he's gonna do again.
Yeah, and, Varus already ahead on the, last hits right now with that epic 1 that he's got right down here. Come on, guys. Cheer it up for Varus.
How did he get that?
Wraith, I believe.
They aren't spawned yet.
Oh, ward. That's what happened. He killed a ward. Yep, he killed a ward, so that counts.
New meta. Get your last hits from wards, everyone.
Definitely.
You saw it here first.
Definitely, but yeah, looks like just standard gameplay right now from both teams. Tryndamere versus Volibear. The tank that will almost never die versus the DPS that goes on rage.
That's very undying. So.
Exactly. This is... it's going to be an interesting top lane to say the least. Although Volibear can, until level 6, bite Tryndamere's head off.
Not only that, but Tryndamere, he started Cloth 5 to Volibear's Thorn Shield in one pot, and Tryndamere's just winning the regen battle, just due to the fact of how many potions he has. Very
true, and Janna right now just doing a little damage to Varus, and Varus gets another ward kill, and he is, he has twice the CS of that, of the Lucian right now. Which you definitely don't want that, especially this early in the game. That'll snowball very quickly, and Annie doing just minor damage to Xerath.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, that little lead can snowball hard. I'm very confused with this Janna Lucian thing, but I'll let that be more after this game.
Yeah, I believe it looks like at least that Varus was forced to flash out of that engagement down at blue, or down at bottom rather, not blue. Down at bottom, Varus was forced to flash, so he doesn't have that. Same thing with Sona, neither one of them have flash.
Oh, I think my summoner cooldowns are working again.
Very, very good.
But yeah, as I was saying, I'm not 100% sure on the Lucian Janna combo, just due to the fact that I haven't seen Lucian that much, except for today, of course, because we've seen him 3 times. But yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how it goes, because Varus Sona is a very strong lane.
It is. There's very few supports that don't go good with Varus. Soraka is probably the best support to go with Varus, just because it's, hey, unlimited mana for him. And in the meantime, it looks like this Tryndamere still doing damage to Volibear even underneath his tower. and Tryndamere is just gonna go ahead and pot back up and be safe. Tryndamere's oh, go ahead.
Alright, to be honest, I don't know how I feel about the Soraka Varus lane. Just due to the fact, while in lane, Soraka, like, and just wait, top.
Wow, that Volibear gets out of the way quickly. He pops Flash and pops his barrier, and that's gonna be I'm sorry, Flash and Ignite. And that's a dead Tryndamere to Jarvan.
Back to what I was saying now. Like, I still don't know how I feel about Soraka because she's very strong in lane, but that's where it ends. Like, of course, her ability to siege towers is pretty strong just due to the sustain she brings to the teams, but the cooldown on her heal is so long, and outside of that, she really doesn't apply much. She has no CC outside of silence, but if you silence, and you can't get mana to like your carries, and it can easily be on cooldown due to the sieging.
This is very, very true. I mean, it's one of those things where you win the lane early, you're in a good position. That's what Soraka's there for, to win the lane early. But in the meantime, this Varus and Lucian are relatively close on CS, whereas Xerath and Annie, for instance, are actually kind of almost worlds apart. It's a 1 to 2 CS difference between Lucian and Varus, and there's about 4 to 5, maybe even 6 CS difference between Xerath and Annie.
Yeah, definitely.
There's, I don't know, there's just a lot of, sustain going around between both teams. Tryndamere is already critting relatively hard for this early in the game, critting for 266, and he's only level, what, 4 or 5? So, this is something.
Tryndamere is definitely he's being very dominant in top lane, even though he did die and give up that first blood, but he's just so far ahead. He's positioning himself very well to do really well in this tournament.
Very true, and yeah, I mean, Volibear, his strength doesn't, it's not in the early game that his strength is, it's in the team fight stages. Mid to late games where Volibear really shines. He becomes that tank that you need, the tank you want, and if left unchecked, he can do a ton of damage. And it looks like this Tryndamere right now is going to be forced to go ahead and maybe pop his ultimate versus Jarvan and Volibear. Volibear's passive does go off, so he will be healed for just a very little bit right now. And he's going back in onto this Tryndamere. Tryndamere will blade away.
Tryndamere has that huge creep. He's trying to force him to fight in it, and there's Nautilus.
Yes, and Tryndamere is forced to ult right here, and the ult does go, the ult is down now on Tryndamere, so he doesn't have that, and, he should go ahead and back out here. In the meantime, Varus right now, World of Hurt down at bottom, and same thing with this Xerath in the middle. Xerath actually has the Ignite on him, and he gets killed by Tibbers of Annie, of all things.
That was very good play by that Annie right there, too. The stuns and just the dot and the Ignite timing, it was just perfect.
Yes, and it's now 2v2 up at top right now, and this Volibear is very, very low on health. Tryndamere will have his ult back on, back available to him in about a minute or so, but his Ignite's up in 10 seconds, and he's dead, dies right there to that Jarvan, and now it's Jarvan and Volibear versus that Nautilus, and Nautilus has about half health, but no mana to cast anything.
I think that was definitely a misplay by the Tryndamere right there. He should have backed out much earlier. He was too low, his ult was down. He shouldn't have been around.
I think he was waiting for, the prime opportunity to go in onto that Volibear, because Volibear doesn't have his passive yet. It's still on cooldown.
Yeah, I think he just got a little bit too greedy there.
I will agree with you on that one. But as far as CS goes, oh my god, there's just a world of difference between the tops. 28 to 57.
Yeah,
that is
Volibear
colossal.
Took a lot of minion damage from the beginning against Tryndamere, and ever since that happened, Tryndamere's just been able to bully him, and it's totally snowballed the lane in his favor. Of course, he does have 2 kills, but that's still the same, CS-wise.
Yes, and looking at it right now, the ADCs are relatively even. The mids are relatively even, about 5 kill difference between them. ADCs about 5 kills as well. The supports, they aren't as huge of a factor, but this Varus right now actually doing a lot of work onto that onto the Lucian, and Lucian goes ahead and he's getting focused right here by Varus, and Varus will flash under the tower and get the kill on Lucian.
I think that was a missile by Janna. I think she misread the position that they were in. And if he had flashed in front of Lucian, which she flashed behind him and knocked him into the tower area, but it wasn't actually in the tower, they would have been able to walk out there with Lucian on the left. And
Yes,
going on mid.
Yes, and that Annie's about to die right here to Volibear, and she does. Those stuns from Xerath just doing enough work for Volibear to stay in melee range long enough to, get his bite off and, get the kill.
Yeah, Volibear was able to run him down, and that was just due to the fact that he's been able to push out ever since he got armor, because of those two ganks that were very successful at the top line.
Exactly, and now Nautilus is he's just staying at middle to, kind of be, kind of just say, hey, you can't really take this tower because I'm still here, but he can't really do anything to Xerath once Xerath, starts, tossing spells at him. Meantime, blue team did get the dragon, and now Volibear's in, little trouble here going one-on-one against Tryndamere yet again. Tryndamere now has his Vamp Scepter, so he has the lifesteal aside from his Bloodlust. And, he should be in good position to take out this Volibear.
Yeah, definitely. But the minions are pushing toward Volibear's tower. I think he's just gonna back off, let him come at him, and he's just gonna camp at his tower, basically.
Yeah, and Tryndamere gets tossed underneath the tower. I think that's like the 5th or 6th time that's happened to him, but he hasn't actually taken damage from the tower because there have always been minions there. And Nautilus comes in here and gets a nice grab onto that Volibear, and nice ult as well, but that Volibear gets saved yet again by Jarvan, and Nautilus is forced to flash out of that. Tryndamere is going right for Jarvan and gets tossed by Volibear. Volibear is going to go ahead and die here to Tryndamere. Tryndamere pops the ult, is now playing Ring Around the Rosie with that Jarvan, and gets the kill onto Jarvan and dies to the tower one last hit, and Volibear picks up the kill onto that Tryndamere.
That Tryndamere did that very well, as well as the Nautilus. That was played well by most, just about everyone there, but of course the Nautilus and the Tryndamere did come out ahead just due to the fact that the Tryndamere got 2 kills.
Definitely, and Nautilus can lay a little siege to that tower, not a whole lot, but it's just enough to do, some minor damage, knock it down a little bit on health, and prepare it for a big push later on.
And with the Tryndamere getting 2 kills like that, not alone, with the fact that he has 50 kills up on the Volibear, that's going to be huge. He's working on that Blade of the Rune King, which will just do amazing against Volibears who love to stack health. And this is just, yet again, setting everything up for Tryndamere to carry so hard in the late game.
Exactly, and Volibear is working on, looks like a Renduin's Omen right now, to give himself that extra armor, the extra HP that he kind of wants and needs, but then it's going to be almost nullified by Tryndamere's Blade of the Rune King, as you said. And, he's just trying to be the tank he has to be, not the one that he kind of necessarily wants to be in a way. And
small skirmish going on in mid, but yeah, as you said, he's going for that Randuin Omen, and that's going to be a very good item for Volibear against Tryndamere.
Yes, and Annie dies right there to Xerath underneath her tower, and very beautiful play right there by Jarvan, knocking her up for just a split second, and that Janna ult just saves her for a quick second, and she will be fine by the looks of it. And wow, Varus actually going ham underneath that tower and does a big chunk of damage to Lucian, and again that ult comes out from Tryndamere onto Volibear, but that's almost a wasted ult by Tryndamere because he doesn't dive, and that ult from Jarvan goes ahead and traps that Varus in, and Varus should die here, and he does die to Jarvan. Very beautiful play by Jarvan right there.
Yeah, this Jarvan is definitely he does not want to lose this game. He's just trying to carry this game so hard. He's doing an amazing job at it.
Very true. I mean, the CS between the tops, there's about 50 CS difference. That is huge, but when you take into account that Tryndamere's died 3 times, Volibear only once, they both are equal on kills, but Volibear has the assists, so that evens it up in a little way. The, ADCs are relatively even. Varus is pulling out ahead because he does have a kill, whereas, Lucian only has an assist. And it's going to be very interesting to see the team fights happen, to see which team gets the ults off in a better position. as we said earlier, the last game we saw, if Sona gets a beautiful ult off, that sets Varus up for a nice ult, sets, Nautilus up for a nice ult, sets a lot of people up for a nice ult, and we'll see if they can make that, come into play here again, as they did in the previous game. I mean, in the meantime, Tryndamere here is just dead to, Nautilus, or to, not Nautilus, to Jarvan and to Volibear. Gets his head bitten off by that Volibear, and definitely no bueno for him. There's actually 2,000 gold difference right now between the teams, and Tryndamere now has his Blade of the Rune King. So Volibear will be in, he will be in danger of being killed a lot quicker now by Tryndamere. But, Tryndamere has to not pop his ult too early, otherwise that same thing's gonna happen yet again where, he just can't ult and he really, really needs it.
That CS lead by Tryndamere can be really deceiving, though. Volibear is actually only behind, let me see, 200 gold right now, even though he has less than half the CS that Tryndamere has. Sorry, it's a little bit more than half.
Yeah, in the meantime, nice ult right there by that Lucian, doing a lot of damage to Varus, and Varus actually gets a nice ult off onto John and onto Lucian. Lucian actually dodges out of it somehow, and John is actually going all for it, and Lucian will take a couple turret hits for his problem. He won't get a kill. Tryndamere, in the meantime, still taking damage from the tower, taking damage from Volibear, and taking damage now from that J4. It's...
I believe Lucian actually flashed out of that ult. I think that's how he got out.
That could be it, and looks like Tryndamere now, he's gonna go ahead and pop his ult to survive against this Volibear, and he does get the kill to ignite onto that Jarvan, and now Tryndamere is trying to run away from Volibear, and he will not be able to do so. Volibear will go ahead and chase him, and he should be able to get him. No, Tryndamere just playing Ring Around the Rosie with him, and we will have to see if Tryndamere will be able to survive. And Volibear actually sees Tryndamere now, and is going all for it, and Tryndamere goes right through the wall. Tryndamere will be able to survive just barely, and Xerath misses it again. Tryndamere now trying to, again, play Ring Around the Rosie with Volibear, and Volibear is kind of onto the shenanigans, but neither him or Xerath will be able to get the kill onto... Actually, I misspoke! The nice snipe coming out here from that Xerath. That was a very, very lucky snipe by that Xerath.
Yeah, that was beautiful, and it looks like Nautilus is gonna go ahead and start the dragon, which he should, due to the fact that Xerath was forced to come top. I think they could have started it a little bit earlier, and should have been dead by now. And it looks like J4 may be able to come and stop it.
J4 and Annie, they're right. Well, J4 and Xerath are right there. Annie's right there, though, holding off Xerath. And J4 wants to go in, but I don't think he should go in, because he's going to die immediately. Nautilus gets the kill on the Dragon. Xerath gets the kill on Nautilus. Lucian gets the kill on Sona. And I don't know if that was really worth it, because now we have Varus being chased away here by Lucian and Janna. I don't know.
If blue team is able to get anything off of this, it will be worth it for blue team. But otherwise, the Dragon is worth a little bit more than 2 kills, I believe.
Just looking at the gold differences again really quick, it is 400 in favor of Tryndamere at the tops. Between the jungles, it is 1,000. It's actually 1,500 in favor of Jarvan, and now more due to that tower dying. We've got, between the middles, about 1.1k. Between the ADCs, it's actually relatively even, 54 to 55 or to 5,300. Just about 100 gold difference between them. The supports, it's about 700 in favor of Janna, or 400 rather. So blue team is certainly ahead, as we can tell by here, but it's where... It's, where they... it's where the goal differences lie is the big problem.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest, I think purple team scales much better than the blue team does. Like, they're able to stay in, and they have a Tryndamere, a Varus, and stuff's going on bottom.
And in the meantime, Nautilus gets... Well, not Nautilus. Jarvan gets an assist right here with Xerath on the kill on Sona. Nautilus does come in here. He does hook onto Xerath, and Varus comes in here, and that is... that's pretty... pretty awkward that they just, kind of forfeited a kill or two. Well, not forfeited, they actually played that actually smart. So if they chased that, then both Janna and Lucian would have been right there in a moment's notice.
And that play was only able to be made just due to the pink ward coverage that the team had. They had a pink ward at Dragon, which took a side, and a pink ward at the blue buff as well. So they were able to come in completely blind. Like the purple team was completely blind.
Yeah. So that was a very, very smart play right there by the purple team. I actually misspoke. So they were smart and backed out, when they needed to. Right now the differences in CS is actually evening up in a big way between the tops. And with Tryndamere dying 5 times, that's actually playing into Volibear's favor, believe it or not. Because the gold differences are about 500, and Volibear and Tryndamere are going right at it, and Tryndamere is actually only critting for about 100 or so on that Volibear, and Volibear will die to that Tryndamere. Tryndamere did pop his ult to have, to make that happen, though.
That percent health damage coming out of the Blazer King plus its active and the Undying Rage coming from Tryndamere just proved to be too strong for him.
Definitely, and then Tryndamere with that, with his demoralizing shout, just slowing that Volibear down long enough, or mocking shout rather, to slow him down long enough to get another last hit or two, or to get another hit or two in, it certainly helped.
Yeah, definitely. There's no running away from a Tryndamere with Blazer and King and a Zeal. Like, he's so fast, and not only that, he can slow you down so hard.
Yeah, there are only a few champions that would be able to get away from him, and none of them are in this game right now. Meantime, that's a nice ult right there by Xerath, allowing Janna to get the kill on Sona, surprisingly enough. And nice ult right there by that Jarvan trapping Nautilus and, causing Nautilus to go ahead and have to flash over the wall to get out of there.
That was a beautiful ultimate by Xerath right there, too. It's a shame that the kill went to Janna, just due to the fact that she is the support. It would have been much better if it went to one of your carries. But still in all, it's always awesome to have a kill.
Yes, and it's not the end of the world if your support gets 1 out of, the 12 kills that your team has. Because, yeah, you want it on the carry, but the support also needs the gold for the items. You can't get the wards without gold, you can't buy, your Locket of Iron Solari without the gold, all of that stuff. So, yes, the gold will come, but this at least helps her get it a little quicker.
You must not play support in solo queue, because if you steal a kill from your AD carry, you're mid lane. Oh man.
They
I don't even got things.
I have played support and they usually don't care. But in the meantime, Janna gets the beautiful knockup, allowing Lucian to get the kill on Sona right there. But just beautiful play right here by the blue team. It's 13-6. I mean, there's about 3,000 gold difference between the teams. And yeah, it sounds like a lot, but really at this point isn't, due to the fact that they have a Tryndamere on the purple team. They have a Varus. Varus, as far as we all know, he's very, very strong. And again, since Lucian just came out, a day or two ago, people still don't know how to handle him. They still don't know how to play him. So it's, it's going up against the unknown versus going up against the known. It's one of those, what Varus can do, you know what he can't do, but you don't exactly know what Lucian can and can't do.
And speaking of the AD carries, I'm very curious to see what the build's going on with Lucian, because it looks like he's gonna get Triforce just do the Mana Crystal on the page.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you said earlier that he has some mana problems. The sheen on him would be nice, because that, gives him, 400 AD for 1 hit when he casts a spell?
That's true.
I mean, it's nice, and it's only for 1 hit, but again, it's nice. Plus, if he goes for the, Trinity Force, he gets the Zeal that gives him crit, gives him attack speed, gives him movement speed. He has the increased movement speed from Phage's Phage's new passive, and he gets the Sheen benefit, so it's all good for him.
And not only does he have the increased movement speed from the new Phage, but he's also gonna be able to break all slows due to his Z.
Exactly, and it looks like Volibear and Tryndamere going at it yet again. Tryndamere gets tossed up and gets the kill on Volibear after after Volibear had his passive proc. Thought he had enough health to go back in on the Tryndamere, but surprisingly he didn't. Or unsurprisingly he didn't. The purple team going yet again for Dragon, which is very good, and the blue team lost their tier 2 top tower to that Tryndamere, and nice ult right there by Sona catching a few of them out. And Tibbers comes out here, and Annie looks like she's gonna get the kill on Xerath. No, Xerath lives. Annie dies right there. No, Annie gets the kill on Jarvan, rather. Xerath gets the kill on Sona with a beautiful snipe, and Annie gets the kill onto Xerath with her fireball. And it looks like that Lucian gets the kill on Annie, and Trinimir's taking out that T3 tower, and there's nobody there to stop him. Volibear just now spawns.
While all this is going on, Trinimir's just like, I don't care about my team. I'm top lane. I'm gonna push my lane.
Pretty much. Trinimir showing how you should play Trinimir. Yeah, it's nice to have him in the team fights, but where he really excels at, much like certain champions like Shaco, for instance, is that, lane pushing. You want him lane pushing as much as possible, and now he has the stack shift, he also has the last whisper. So he's going to shred, and I mean just shred through Jarvan, shred through Volibear like they're paper.
Yeah, at this point in time, there is no one on the blue team that can really 1v1 this Trindamere. Like, they're gonna need to send at least 2 people up to stop him.
Yeah, and if they don't stop him, they're gonna lose their base rather quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Because with all that attack speed, he can just tear up those towers and those inhibitors.
And speaking of Tryndamere, he's actually going for Baron right now, but I think he's realizing he actually cannot solo Baron anymore. Baron hurts. And Baron gets a kill. Baron gets the kill. And Varus goes ahead and gets the kill on Dragon.
I think they gotta report Tryndamere for feeding Baron now.
Totally. Now, if only we can chat. Totally. Tryndamere too stupid. He goes ahead and goes 1v1 against that Baron and dies.
And because of that, blue team's gonna start doing Baron now, which could be terrible for the purple team.
Yes, but Annie and Nautilus are right there, and Annie gets a nice stun right there onto Janna, but Volibear is chasing right there, and Annie gets knocked right back into the entirety of the blue team, and Varus with the decent ult right there. Xerath gets the kill on Annie, Varus gets the kill onto Jarvan during all this. Varus now running away, flashes out of that, doesn't get any more damage done to him, and it looks like that Nautilus goes and dies to... Volibear is actually dancing after allowing Lucian to get the kill. The trolling...
He got hit by the crescendo.
Oh, so he got hit by the crescendo and decides to dance while he's stunned. That is some ballsy maneuvers right there, if I've seen one. And oh my god, that Sona almost dies to Xerath with one ability. And Tryndamere coming in here, he gets stunned by just about everybody. And Tryndamere going ham up now, and he's chasing right after that Lucian, and Lucian just not caring and gets the kill on Tryndamere. Xerath gets the kill on Varus, and oh my god. That is just devastating, and that mid tower should die.
That one hero creep right there was able to tank the tower shot for him.
Pretty much.
And it looks like Jarvan's gonna go ahead and clear up bot lane. And the red is spawned, so Lucian should be taking that after he backs.
That's... I'm sorry, but I've never seen somebody dance once they got crescendoed.
Like, I believe crescendo actually forces you to dance.
Really, I've played Summon a lot, never seen that happen when I ult. I guess because I ult, like, at the start of the fight, so nobody actually gets a chance to dance. They all get stunned by other people as well at the same time.
If you actually read the tooltip for Crescendo, I believe it actually says that it's forced to dance. Yeah, it strikes an irresistible chord, forcing enemy champions to dance for 1.5 seconds and takes 150 damage.
Wow.
Plus the AP ratio.
No, Nas, I don't always miss my ult, but whatever. Let's get back into this.
That's also a possibility, you just never hit an ult, so.
Alright, so it looks like the goal difference is right now 2,000 in favor of Tryndamere versus the Volibear. We've got, between the ADCs, it's actually close. It's 500 in favor of Lucian. Between the middles, it is relatively closer. And
I'm sorry, the middles are 1,100 difference.
Yeah, but they're closer than the tops, where it's like 2,000. Oh. And for those of you asking about the giveaway, I don't know if we're doing any more tonight or not. And nice ult right there by, looks like, yeah. Nice ult by that Nautilus trying to save Annie, but it's just not worth it. It's
And just off of that Annie kill, they may be going for Baron, which is what it looks like with their positioning.
and it's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, and that Tryndamere is caught on the other side, so they may be able to pick him off if he misplays this badly.
Yeah, actually, he's gonna go ahead and spin out of the way, and Blue Team's still going for Baron right now. They're trying to get the Tryndamere to pop his ult prematurely, and it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. They will try and sandwich him. Actually, Xerath almost with the kill onto that Tryndamere.
Yeah, he even used his ult for that, though, so that's gonna be down for the fight.
Yeah, and Sona right there crescendos and tries to save herself, but it's not worth it. Lucian gets the kill on her.
Lucian is definitely doing quite well in this game. Same with the Xerath.
Yeah, and Xerath right now just poking at the purple team standing behind Baron. The blue team has to know where the purple team is, and looking at it, the blue team does. Xerath gets the kill on Tryndamere during all this, and wow, Nautilus comes in into that Baron pit, and Lucian ults but doesn't actually hit anybody. That ult from just Xerath getting the kill on 2 people, on Nautilus and onto Varus, and I think that's gonna be possibly a GG here. That was just a bad initiation in total. That snipe from Xerath getting the kill onto Tryndamere before they even engaged at that, with that's insane.
And if you actually notice that the blue team stopped attacking Baron just for a second, so they could trick the Nautilus into jumping in much earlier, due to the fact that it was blind in the Baron pit.
This is true. In the meantime, that Annie flashes out of the Jarvan ult, but dies to Lucian, so it doesn't matter either way. And Xerath right now trying to get the kill onto Sona, and he almost manages it. She just moves left instead of right. Now you know the basics of juking, guys. You move left instead of right.
Exactly. 17.
Exactly. And this Tryndamere, while he is formidable, he is a big threat. If he goes in, 2v1 to 3v1, he's not a threat at all. If Tryndamere could get a split push going, push top, because that is, the outer lanes are by far the harder ones to defend, then the purple team can go ahead and push middle, push bottom, do something, and get themselves back into this game. They are about 8,000 gold behind, 15 kills behind, and Xerath just got his Void Staff, so he has maximum percentage of Magic Pen.
Yeah, and just while, the purple team really needs Tryndamere to split push, just so they can get back in it. The only problem is the rest of the team does not have that much wave clear, and that's going to be a huge problem for them. They really need Varus to just wave clear for them.
Very, very true. I mean, Varus, yes, he's good. He has, his passive that gives him, increased attack speed when he kills something. He has his blight arrows that, do extra damage. It's, they have a lot of potential to kill people, but they have to have that good engagement to do so. And now with that dragon being taken by the blue team, it's, I don't know, the blue team is actually just wasting their Baron buff right now. They're not pushing. Well, they are pushing, but they aren't taking out, they will be going for this T2, bottom tower. They could also go for the T2 top tower as well at the same time. Split push it and get even more gold, but I don't know. Something tells me they want to stay as a team in case that Tryndamere wants to try and pick one of them off up at top.
I think they're going to try to split, they're just going to try to siege the bot tower due to the fact that their minions are pushing in their mid lane and their top tower.
Very true. And that top tower, regardless of how many minions are there, that top tower for the purple team will take damage. May or may not die, but it will take some damage. Tryndamere, taking a lot of damage here yet again from Xerath, and Varus as well taking a lot of damage. I don't know. This is just in favor of blue team right now. That's a dead tower, T3 tower for the purple team. That will not respawn.
And it looks like the T2 tower up top lane will be going down to the minions after they clear out this wave.
That is very, very true. And if not, there goes the blue team heading right for it anyway. They're going to try and go for the top towers as well.
They still have their Baron. There's a good chance they will take the T3 tower, or they'll force a fight here.
Very true. And Tryndamere comes right in here, and he gets pushed all the way back. and he's forced to actually ult. He gets caught in Jarvan's ultimate. Lucian pops his ult. He's not hitting anybody with that. Tryndamere dies to Volibear. Xerath gets the kill on Sona. Lucian gets the kill on Annie. Xerath gets the kill onto Nautilus. Only one left alive right now is that Varus. And there's the GG well played in the surrender. The surrender comes out, and very, very, very good close game, in this best of 3 series.
Yeah, definitely.
Bans right now from YOLO Swag, Vayne, Lucian, and Blitzcrank, and from Infinity, it's Zac, Tryndamere, and Shen.
Yeah, they're definitely not they do not want to go against that Tryndamere again. It did so well last game. It completely dominated top lane. The only way they were able to deal with it was just due to the fact that Jarvan camped that lane. He did so well. Because Jarvan, while he may be a bad support, he's a darn good jungle.
Yep. And
I love the pun name.
Yeah. What? Oh yeah, bad support, yeah. But yeah, looks like we've got Thresh pick and a Nautilus, tentative Nautilus at that. Or not Nautilus, Nasus, tentative Vi now for our YOLO Swag team. And for IGB, we have an Ashe as well as a Zyra.
Ooh, Zyra Ashe combo. Someone's been watching C9 and LCS.
Zyra can be, she can be a mid if played that way.
Just due to the fact that they have the Ashe pick, I'm gonna guess it's Zyra Ashe. Just due to how strong that lane combo is, that lane combo is definitely while both may be girls, they are the king of the engagement and the disengagement.
Very true. It looks like it's going to be the Nasus pick and a Renekton pick for YOLO Swag.
Which, as I said earlier, that's a very strong combo. Their synergies work so well together. They're both taking goes, so they're definitely ready to duke it out in a team fight.
Exactly, and a Poppy tentative pick. Poppy is not one of those champions you see very often.
I think that will be switched, but that'd be pretty interesting to see it, and it'll be a pain in my butt as a caster due to the fact of I know nothing about Poppy except for her ult makes her invulnerable except for the person she put it on.
Alright, few things about Poppy. If she knocks somebody into the wall, she does extra damage. It's kind of like Vayne's, except she's instant melee range. Yeah, if she knocks them into a wall, it stuns them and does extra damage. She's a beast like that. Plus, she has an ability where she can pop it and get increased movement speed for a short duration. But it looks like it's going to be a Sejuani, maybe. Sejuani is a better pick, and it's going to be Sejuani and Ahri picks.
I would just like to say thank you to bad support right now, just due to the fact of I know Sejuani, don't know Poppy. I was a little scared.
Alright, it looks like it's going to be tentative Caitlyn. Let's see. Because, Caitlyn versus Ashe, Caitlyn's got the superior poke. You have to remember, though, Caitlyn's passive no longer gets stacks when she's attacking turrets. They had to change that. She was too much of a siege monster doing that. She could attack the turret, several times, hit somebody with, her passive maxed out, and do a ton of damage, rinse, repeat.
While Caitlyn has a longer range, Ashe's range is very long as well. So while Caitlyn will be able to get the first hit off, that won't be as big of a deal as it is in a lot of other lanes, just due to the fact of Ashe's passive will make her get at least one crit off most likely on Caitlyn.
Very true. And as far as CS goes, even if Ashe is behind, if she has Hogshot at least level 1 or 2, she can still be on even footing, because that will give her the extra gold. It looks like we have the Kennen pick here for the final one from YOLO Swag.
Which I'm guessing it's going to be a Kennen mid, just due to the fact they already have Renekton.
That's true. They have, they have their support. They have the mid. They have now they have their mid. They had their jungle. They had, the bottom. So Kennen would naturally go in the middle. It's a question, though, is whether she's going to go ADC, go attack damage, or go AP. I'll have to assume AP just because that would be one too many ADs, and then you just build up armor for your, IGB.
if it is an AP Kennen, I think that Sejuani really needs to rush a Locket with Iron Slurry like almost instantly, just due to the fact of the AoE damage coming from Necton's ult and Nasus' ult and Kennen's ult, all going to be magic damage, and it can tear up teams. It is deceptively a lot of AoE damage coming from Nasus and Renekton's ult.
Very true. And we actually have the Jax pick as the final one. So Jax versus Renekton top. This is going to be interesting. Jax has a very good disengage as well as an engage. He has a stun. His ultimate allows him to, go ahead and get stacks of extra damage going. It's very, very vital. So we're going to have to see how this plays out. I mean, again, as I said before, if Ashe is behind a little bit on CS but has her Hawkshot, it's not, a huge deal because Hawkshot does give her extra gold every time she gets a kill, whether it's on champion or creep. If she's ahead of CS versus Caitlyn and she has Hawkshot, all the better. That's one of the big reasons why they actually nerfed TF's passive, because that synergized so well. One of Ashe's passives. But yeah, it's gonna be Zyra Ashe bottom versus Caitlyn Thresh. Two good engage heroes. Well, two good engage compositions at bottom. Lots of poke, lots of sustain, and we're gonna have to see how Zyra can, get her roots off onto that Caitlyn to stop her from nutting away, stop her from using. I believe it actually stops you from using stops you from using Thresh's Lantern to get away. And I know for a fact it's it can be cleanse, but we don't see cleanse here.
I'm sorry, what are we talking about?
The fact that Zyra has to land a good root in order to, knock down or hold down that Caitlyn, because she doesn't have, cleanse. She can flash out of it, I believe, but she can't use Thresh's Lantern to get out of the root. She has to wait the full duration.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing to be terrified of is the level 6 of coming out of their bot lane for the purple team, which will be that Ashe Zyra combination, because the Enchanted Crystal Arrow into the Strangle Thrones from Zyra is going to be an insane amount of damage and an insane amount of CC.
Very, very true. I mean, the entirety of the purple team right now, they have CC. Between the small AoE stun from Jax, the AoE stun if she lands it of Ashe, the knock-up of Zyra, the stun, the freeze ability of Sejuani's ultimate, the charm from Ahri. It's a lot of crowd control that you don't necessarily think about, versus the stun that can come out from Kennen, the wither that can come out from Nasus, a small stun that can come out from Renekton, a knock-up a hook from Thresh, and trap and slow from this Caitlyn.
Now, this is definitely going to be a very interesting game. To go back to the purple team, their comp is basically built up around, let's just do a bunch of CC. Ahri will assassinate the big threat, which will be the Caitlyn, due to the fact of if anyone's going to be a threat to the Jax, which is what the main comp's most of their damage is going to come from, it's going to be the Caitlyn. She's going to be able to kill him fast. But if Ahri is able to kill Caitlyn and Jax is able to go ham on everyone else, they either gonna have to focus Jax or Ashe down, and it's just gonna stomp.
Yeah, and I mean, Renekton versus Jax. As I said before, both have good disengage. They have good engage ability and disengage ability. Just because Renekton can slice and dice in and out of combat, Jax, while he can't necessarily do that, he can leap to ally minions. And if he goes ahead and leaps to the caster minion, which is all the way in the back, and Renekton has to slice and dice his way there, that puts Renekton in a worse spot.
This is definitely going to be an interesting matchup at top lane, because Jax and Renekton, they're both very strong lane bullies.
Yes, and, I think it's going to come down to just who gets the better engagements. If the farm's equal, if everything's equal across the board, towers are equal, everything else, I'm going to have to give the slight edge to IGB, just because of that Ashe, again, with her Hawkshot, she will not instinctively, she will automatically have more gold than Caitlyn if they're on even CS terms, and she has level 1 Hawk shot at least.
Not only that, but I gotta put the scaling to IGB too. Jax is an insanely amazing person scaling wise. Ash scales just as well as Caitlyn does, just due to the fact that neither one of them has a steroid, but Ash brings a lot more CC and engagement than Caitlyn does.
Exactly. Ash's slow is multi-target with that volley, and then she can single target with the frost arrow. And as you said, if she gets that crystal arrow out and it hits, say Renekton before he's able to slice and dice his way in or something, that's amazing. If he can, if she can get her ult off on Kennen as he's ulting before he actually is able to hit anybody, that's even better because that's a wasted ult from Kennen, an amazing ult from Ashe, and two ults gone or one ult's gone per team. But Kennen's is more devastating because it is a bigger AoE. It has the chance to stun just about everybody.
And not only that, but like, if Ashe is able to land an arrow and Sejuani is able to land her ult on top of the tanks, Ori's gonna have free reign on that Caitlyn. And if an Ori rushes DFG, she can just burst her down, no problem.
Very true, and we can't forget about the supports either. If Thresh gets a nice hook on, say, Ahri before she's able to do anything, or gets it onto Jax before he's able to leap and do his wombo combo, then that can also be devastating because if Jax leaps in and then gets hooked by Thresh, Jax can't leap back out. He has to flash or he's dead. And not only that, but if Thresh goes ahead and pops his ult at the opportune time, then the entirety of IGB can get slowed and take massive amounts of damage.
Yeah, but not only that, but if you just look at Zyra, like, when the blue team goes to initiate, they're not going to be able to initiate with a hard CC. They're going to have to run in at them and just try to get a bunch of things and hope that the Kennen stuns the priority targets. But Zyra's just going to throw her ult on the ground. They're just going to walk away, and that Kennen ult's going to be wasted. I think the team comp-wise, you got to give it to the purple.
Definitely. Purple has it as far as... just as far as you said, team composition, they have it, but composition doesn't necessarily mean it all. If the blue team can get that good engagement, one good engagement is all it takes to turn a game around. And if you get several of those in a row, then it's, very much in your favor. And if you do good trade-offs, like you have, a gank bottom go your way, it tends to snowball very, very slowly, but it's a very big snowball.
And not only that, but Nasus is going to be able to farm hardcore because Renekton, Kennen, and Caitlyn and Thresh, all insanely strong laners. Like, it's like they may just dominate in lane phase. It could easily happen.
Yes, and this Nasus actually almost got charmed right there by Ahri, but he wisely backs out, and Kennen actually gets a nice shuriken toss onto that Ashe. Just doing some damage, the first damage of the game going onto that Ashe.
And the purple team's just gonna walk out. I thought they may have just gone and stole the blue just to keep it from them, like from the Nasus, but no, Nasus just goes to decide he's gonna do his red, and the purple team just walks out.
Pretty much. And actually, for the mid lane, I have to give the edge to Kennen, just because Kennen doesn't have mana. Kennen has energy that replenishes rather rapidly, versus the slow mana regen of Ahri. Regardless of what mana regen items she has, she still has slow mana regen versus the energy regen of that Kennen. So early game Kennen should be able to do some damage to her.
I may have to agree with you on that, but I think top lane's gonna also suffer with that same problem. Like, Jax is definitely a mana reliant champion, and Renekton he based off cooldown.
Exactly. And Renekton, if he has all 5 of his Fury, his abilities do even more damage. Or all 50, if he has 50 or above, his abilities do more
400.
damage. Yeah. It's insane, and Thresh right now taking some damage from this Ashe, and Caitlyn taking some damage just in general. I mean, Renekton with a nice stun up here over top, and actually does a good chunk of damage to Jax. But Jax, again, it's going to be back and forth game no matter what. The tops, all lanes will decide what happens in this game. If one lane fails, it can affect the rest of your team. Until that team fight happens and you get a good one, you're going to die. You know, a nice stun right there by Jackson's going to allow that Rennington to possibly die here. Sejuani comes in, gets the nice slow off, and Rennington is trying to get away here, and he will be able to just barely. He's going to try and slice and dice out of the way, and Jackson's going to have his leap off soon, and Rennington actually dies to Sejuani.
That was well played by Renekton. He was able to force a flash out of both Sejuani and Jax. And not only that, but the kill into Sejuani rather than Jax was just what he wants, because if that Jax gets a kill, that's going to be painful for him.
Exactly. Not only that, but you also have to take into consideration he did drag Jax all the way away from his creeps, denied him experience, denied him the last hits. Yeah, he got an assist, but the CS difference between him and, you know, Rennington and just the overall experience is going to be almost nullified.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, just real quick, the goal difference between him and Rennington, it's about 200, 200 to 300 in favor of Jax, which, you know, sure, it's not surprising, but once that Rennington gets back up there, he's going to be in a world of hurt. Or Jax is going to be in a world of hurt, and Rennington actually gets ganked yet again by the Sejuani, and Rennington is actually going to go ahead and die yet again. There's no way he can get out, and Jax this time gets the kill.
Oh, that is not good for that Renekton at all. They're gonna push this lane. They're gonna push this lane all the way to tower, and it's good to not Renekton have so much XP.
Definitely, and now this Caitlyn's taking damage from the plants of Zyra, which you definitely don't want that to happen. But, you know, there's not much you can do when the plants, I believe, instinctively go for champions. And nice catch right there by Thresh, and Zyra's gonna go ahead and die here. It looks like, no, she will be able to flash away, and she just barely gets, you know, missed by that pit over, you know, by Caitlyn. And Caitlyn, in the meantime, actually may die here to Ashe, and Nasus comes in saving this Caitlyn, and Thresh is just in as bad a shape as Caitlyn. Nasus is actually going all for it and gets the kill on Zyra. Very well played, and Zyra goes ahead and gets that last shot off with her passive, and forcing Nasus to pretty much almost have to go back to base.
That Thresh almost died to those plants. He had to flash away from him. And then I thought Caitlyn was going to go in there, but she lucked out, and the plants did finally go away. But that was played really well by Ashe. I think he could have got a kill off on Caitlyn if he had flashed for it. But then there's the fear of, like, Nasus getting killed, getting a kill on him.
Yeah.
But then Zyra would have lived. I think it would have been more in his favor if he had done if he had just flashed.
Yeah, and it looks like right now, as I said, you know, at the beginning of this game, Kennan's getting the favor right now in middle. Just because, again, he's a energy champion, not a mana champion. He's able to poke that Ahri, and she just can't poke back. Meantime, Sejuani comes in here and is trying to set up a kill on Kennen, or at least force him back and not be as aggressive. This, you know, for the finals, this is a very close game, and we're just 6 minutes in.
I think Sejuani should be coming up top soon. Renekton's very pushed out, although he does have a ward in the tri-bush. I think Sejuani will be showing up again, just because, like, if you get Jax fed, it can end a game.
Definitely, and Jax just almost gets the stun off on that Rennington. Rennington does slice and dice away quick enough. And that Ignite now on Rennington will allow Jax to go ahead and get the kill.
Oh, this is not looking good for the blue team. If Jax keeps going how he is right now, it's gotta end up destroying the game for them. They're gonna really need some help from that Nasus up top.
Definitely, and you know, Nasus, he's one of the, you know, if you play him as jungle, you have to go and last hit constantly with your Siphon Strike. Otherwise, you're not gonna scale well at all, because that's where the bulk of Nasus's damage comes from, is his Q. And if you don't get that farmed up well enough, you're not going to be able to do enough damage. You'll be a big threat once you pop your ult, but you can't actually do the damage. You'll just be the meat shield.
Yeah, definitely. Nasus is definitely a very, like, farm-heavy jungler. The only problem is, like, they picked really strong lanes, so he could just farm hardcore. Oh shit.
And in the meantime, Kennen goes ahead and pops her ult and almost gets the kill onto that Ahri, but Ahri gets the kill onto Kennen instead. That ult's just not doing enough damage onto Ahri.
Yeah, that's what I was saying though. They pick very strong lanes just to, like, counteract the fact that Nasus has to farm really hard. But the only problem is the purple team also picked very strong lanes, and they are playing very well. That Sejuani's been very powerful, especially at top lane, and it's not looking so hot in this night for them. While they're only 1,000 gold behind, with a lot of that gold being on Jax, that's a big difference.
Yes, and speaking of Jax, he's doing a good chunk of damage to Nasus onto Renekton, and barely taking any in return. You know, the level difference between both of them right now is staggering. Renekton's level 6, and Jax just hit level 7, and he should be hitting level 8 rather quickly here. And, you know, this is just going to start snowballing. As we said earlier, Jax Fed is going to be a big issue. And then you have to take into consideration Jax's active pass, or active ult. He gets more armor and magic resist based upon his armor, or based upon his attack damage and an AP. So, yeah, he's going to scale very well if he gets certain items like Hex Tech Revolver or Gunblade, you know, the Infinity, or, yeah, get, you know, stuff like the Trinity Force, all those items that give him a good mix of both AD and AP. He scales very well and is very tanky and a big threat. Meantime, Renekton actually pops his ult here and goes right onto that Jax, and Jax almost taking no damage for it, and in the meantime, that Sejuani comes in here and gets a nice ult off onto that Thresh, allowing Sejuani to actually pick up the kill on Thresh. Meantime, that Jax is almost going to die here to Renekton, and he does die to Renekton. Caitlyn dies to Ashe, and very powerful. In the meantime, Ahri gets the kill onto that Kennen.
And when the teams decide to fight, they decide to fight.
Yes. That was pretty much everybody on the blue team dying except for Nasus and
Renekton. It looks like bot lane and the jungler will be going towards Dragon. I think Ahri's gonna just push out mid, although she may come down to assist, but it looks like she's just gonna try to take the tower, or at least get a lot of damage on it.
yeah, and just looking at the, you know, gold right now, there's about 300 gold difference in favor of Ashe before that dragon. After dragon's 500. You know, about 500, you know, 400 to 500 gold difference between her and Caitlyn. As I said, that's gonna, you know, start scaling very well, considering Ashe has, again, that level 1 hog shot, giving her an extra 44 gold. And her and Caitlyn are now tied on CS.
While they're tied on CS, Ashe already has a pickaxe, and Caitlyn's on double Dorns with Berserker Greaves and Longsword. Ashe still has 1,500 gold on her, so when she goes back, there's a good chance of her just picking up a BF sword, and she'll come back much stronger if she does that.
That's true, but she also doesn't have her boots at all, whereas Caitlyn, as you said,
true.
has her Berserker Greaves. She picks up her boots and a Zeal.
Okay, she's decided to go for a more mobile and attack speed type thing, rather than I'm just gonna blow you up with this big crit.
Pretty much, and Renekton right now able to actually do some sort of damage to that Jax for only a few seconds, and then Jax gets it right back with all of the, you know, health regen he has, as well as that Cutlass, you know, giving him that life steal that he wants.
Yeah, Jax definitely needs life steal, just due to the fact that he has no innate life.
And beautiful ult right there by Ashe, and it's the Zyra ult, and that Ashe goes and gets the kill onto Thresh right there. Renekton coming down here as well. Oh no, I'm sorry, not Renekton. Sejuani comes here, and she's chasing right after that Nasus, and Nasus will be able to get away by the looks of it. And that, I have no idea what the hell that Sejuani's thinking, but she just takes a lot of damage, and Caitlyn gets the kill on Ashe. That was very greedy by the purple team here, and Ahri comes in here trying to maybe get the kill on Nasus, but Nasus is long gone.
Renekton's moved down to mid lane, and it looks like Kennen and Renekton are going to try and take this tower. And with the wave that they have in the position of Ahri and Sejuani, it looks like they're definitely get it.
Yeah, Sejuani has about a little more than half health, and just under half mana. There's almost nothing she can do to stop this. She can, you know, threaten them, but she actually can't kill them. And right there we go. Renekton goes ahead and dives in, gets the stun, but he's going to go ahead and back out because he doesn't want to take damage from that T2 tower, which does at this point in time hurt. And Ahri gets hit by Kennen's ult just long enough to get stunned. But now Kennen has no ult, Ahri still has hers, and Jax now takes the top tower, so tower trade is fine, and no champions were killed. So overall, about 3,000 gold, you know, higher for the purple team than the blue team. and it's gonna start snowballing now. As we said, that Jax is now pretty much almost fed. He's 2-1. Doesn't sound like he's fed, but when you look at the CS, yeah, he's a little behind, but it's the gold difference. He's about 500-600 gold ahead of Renekton, and you definitely don't want that.
Yeah, not only is Jax just a little bit ahead, but the fact that he outscales Renekton so hard.
Yeah, and it's actually Renekton that has the higher CS versus Jax, by the way. And just between Kennen and Ahri, there's a 24 CS difference, 25, somewhere around there. And the gold, oddly enough, I mean, not oddly enough, but it's in favor of Ahri, but by 1.4k. That is definitely huge. Ahri is 2-0, whereas that Kennen is 0-2. A nice pull right there by Thresh, nice ult right there by Ashe into the Zyra ults yet again. And Thresh gets the kill on Zyra. Thresh gets the kill on Zyra, Ashe gets the kill on Thresh. And that Nas is going right for Ashe. And that's going to be a dead... No, Ashe barely survives. Meantime, Ahri gets the kill on to Nasus down here. And she'll be able to get the kill on Caitlyn as well. And that's going to be a hopefully dead T2 tower that the Purple Team is going for. Or T1 tower, rather.
That Ashe was able to kite long enough for the Ahri to come down from mid, and it went so well once she finally got there.
Yes, it did.
That is the power of the roaming Ahri right there.
Not only that, but Kennen right here pops her ult and dies yet again to Ahri and Sejuani.
Yeah, Ahri is now 5-0. She's already getting really fed, which is not going to be good for the blue team.
Yeah. I mean, we can go back and forth about how, there's a big goal difference between the teams, but once a actual team fight happens and now just, hey, 2v3 or 3v4, whatever, once it's 5v5, that will tell a bigger difference. If Jax gets kited long enough, if Renekton gets kited long enough, both teams, if their melee get kited long enough, they're in a world of hurt.
Yeah, definitely.
And Renekton actually pops his ult here versus Zyra, and he's actually being kited long enough for Ahri to come in here, get the taunts off, and allowing, it looks like, Ashe to pick up the kill, and Ashe does pick up the kill on that Renekton. Zyra just being a support and not dying. Regardless of her not having a heal, she just did not die. She was like, oh, you want to come at me? Come at me, brah. And Renekton paid the price. Meantime, Ahri goes ahead and dives underneath the tower here, and Ashe just whips right there, and Sejuani going ahead and trying to do something, and Ahri going ahead and getting the taunt off on Kennen. Kennen just saves himself by using the Thresh Lantern, and Sejuani catches the ult right there from Caitlyn.
Yeah, that was beautiful right there. It's a shame that the Ashe arrow missed. If that had hit, that fight would have just gone so much more in their favor. But
Definitely.
Purple Team really needs to start backing off now. They're all really low.
Yeah, and not only that, but Jax is actually pushing top. He got the T2 tower up top, and this is where, this is realistically where, the Purple Team wants to be. They want to be able to control the map. Obviously, both teams want to be, in control of the map, but Ahri actually getting the kill right there on Thresh. Nasus getting the kill on Ahri, and Sejuani just barely surviving there. Ashe gets the kill on Nasus. Kennen comes in here, and he is able to get the kill on Ashe, and is able to get the kill on Zyra as well. Double kill for him, and he does shut down the Ashe. And oh my god, the fail shuriken toss just barely missing that Sejuani.
Everyone knows that you don't stand in the middle, you stand on the side.
Exactly.
Oh man, if that Kennen hit that shuriken, I would have blown up right there.
That shuriken, if it had hit, Kennen was almost guaranteed a triple kill at that point. Well, a pseudo triple kill. It was, too long for the announcer to say triple kill, but we know it was a triple.
Hey, 3 kills before you die. It's a triple kill. It's all good.
Yeah. And Ahri is now 6-1 versus the 2-3 of Kennen. Renekton is 1-4 versus the 2-1 of Jax. Jax now has the Glacial Shroud, he has a Warden's Mail, and he has Blade of the Rune King. So he's very, very into having a lot of armor to deal with that Caitlyn, to deal with that Renekton, to deal with that Nasus.
Yeah, he's definitely probably going for that Frozen Heart. Just looking at the item components, and just from what was going on, if they had just ran away.
Beautiful hook right there by Thresh. Zyra going ahead and just keeping Thresh too far away, and in the meantime, Ahri comes in here and gets the kill onto Caitlyn. Ashe ult does hit, but it's not, it's not big enough to actually have any effect, and Caitlyn's gonna go ahead and die here. If she's not looking, she does die to Ahri. Ahri in the meantime is trying to run away here, and looks like that Renekton will die to that Jax. Ahri gets the kill on Thresh, and now Nasus is running away. This is gonna be a clean sweep, and a quadra kill for that Ahri.
Ahri picking up the quadra kill. That is basically a game. It's game over.
Yeah, 10-1 Ahri.
This game is just so strong. Everyone's saying GG. They're just gonna push. Although technically the blue team can hold them off, even if they do. This game's, it would take some serious throws by the purple team for them to lose.
Yeah, and Caitlyn ult coming in there. Sejuani doesn't even try to block it because there's no way that Ahri would have died from it. Caitlyn actually trying to defend this. I'll give it to her. She's trying to defend this and actually is able to save the inhibitor. But that Ahri is just teleporting right in plain sight and nobody can actually get her.
Oh, the GG calls by the blue team, tricking the purple team, thinking that they'll just let them win. But that's not how it is. We're gonna fight it off until the end.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the purple team almost has triple the kills that the blue team has. Yeah, and the nice hook right there by Thresh. And Thresh pops the ult and knocks Zyra away for some reason. And that Renekton will go ahead and get the kill onto Thresh, solidifying the 3 kill, or the purple team having 3 times as many kills as the blue. And now Thresh is in danger of dying here, and Ahri picks up the kill yet again on Kennen.
Now they do have more than 3 times the kill.
Yeah, Ahri too strong. Enough said. Caitlyn gets charmed right there and almost gets blown up instantly by that Ahri. Oh my god. And failed flash by Zyra. Failed flash by Zyra, but it doesn't matter. Ahri's going ahead and just doing work on that Nasus, gets the kill. And the surrender comes in here from the blue team. GG, well played, says the blue team.
And that's the tournament. Infinity Blades takes it.
Yes, they do. Very, very good. I'm going to stay in the game really quick. Let's just look at the goal differences here. Between the tops, it was 2.1k in favor of Jax. Between the jungles, it was about 2k, about 1.6k in favor, 1.6k in favor of Sejuani. Between the middles, it was hugely in favor of Ahri by about 4,000. Between the supports, it doesn't really matter. It's about 900, and between the ADCs, it's about 2,000 in favor of Ashe, 2.4k to be exact. So, yeah, that's it, guys. Good game.